take a look. First hand, you see I got 80K in front of me with the 9-7 of clubs. Hello. Little 3-bet. That's a thing. All right, that's a really good flop. Top pair, flush draw. We go big. He calls. Turns a fucking dick shit. Cock, nothing. Check call. Fucking shit. In the river, we still have the same dick, nothing. But we have 9, so that's good. And he missed his flush. I don't know how in the world it didn't come a king 4 spade. I really don't. I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. All right, we got the 9-7 again. This time we flop Stugatz. Absolute air. Go ahead and c-bet. Turn a 9, check, river, another 9. Go for some value. He does call with the king 6, so cha-ching. All righty, backdoor 9-9 our way. All right, another big stack situation. We got king and a 10. Raise it up, flopped absolute garbage, so we check, Now we have top pair. That's a good hand, so we bet. He calls. Cool, 6, all right. Well, he doesn't have a 6 probably, so we'll bet for value. He raised, and I guess he does have a 6 with everything, flushes and all that shit, but nice. Okay, cool. Here we go, 9-7 of hearts again. The 9-7's been a theme, huh? All right, this time we have the old 9 high, 3 straight, 3 flush stuff. Turn is the open ender for us, and we go for the overbet. River, we have the 9 high, and we go for another overbet. He has a king with a blocker, as they say, a blocker 5, the king 5. So that calls and we lose. Okay. Pot's getting bigger and bigger as we go. Let's see here. We got, 100K each. 9-6 suited. All right, we're going to 3-bet and flop a pair with a straights and stuff. So a check call. Turn, we got our straight flush draw for real. So let's see what we catch. All right, we make the flush. The board pairs. He bets big. I don't know. If he's bluffing, he's not calling anyways. What the hell? He's got shit. Queen fucking dick. Queen dick he had. Bet. Nice fucking hand. Now we have the jack 7. We 3-bet, of course, because that's what you do sometimes. Bet. He raises, eat it. Who cares? Just let's hit an 8 and maybe win a big pot. Why not? One time. Hit the 8. Now we'll check over to micro stakes. See if he fires. He does. And we're going to put in a good size raise. And he calls me with a 9 and an 8, 2 pair. He did not have the 7. He just had the 2 pair. Nice for us. All righty then. Moving on, we got king 7 suited. Raise, call the 3-bet. Why not? Top pair, okay. Scary board, check. Turn 8, lots of draws and shit. He bets pot, we call. River dick, fuck, nothing. Call, see what he's got. He's got queens and 10s. We get none of it. So that's that. That's that, eh? Alrighty. Here we go. A couple kings, right? I'm going to 3-bet with the kings, yeah. Okay, it's a good flop. We're going to bet. He calls. Now bet again. He calls. Let's hope he doesn't make a straight. Oh, fuck. I'm going to bet it anyway. Call. All right, cool. He only had a jack. So we won one. All right, 6-7 suited. We're getting real deep here, as you can see. I 3-bet, call the 4-bet. Flop dick. Turn shit. River fucking fuck all. We're bottom of my range. Fire. Just donate 8K because, fuck it. He has the jack deuce, obviously, right? What else could he possibly have in that fucking spot? Yeah, all right. Now we got the 4-5 of diamonds. Gonna call a 3-bet and flop the fucking joint. One time, would you just fucking run the board clear so I can get fucking real value here? All right, pair the board. That's gonna bet a little bit. Now the board double fucking idiot pairs. All right. Well, maybe this helped me, actually, because I bet big and he calls me light, as they say, with a pair of 9 skis. So good for us on that one. A few more here. I think we go into the other table now. Let's see. All right, king jack. Call raise, call the 3-bet. Flop nothing, but we call because we have nothing. And now we have an open into straight draw. So we're going to try and take a stab. And the river's a flush, and we still have fucking dick nothing. Bluff nothing, calls with queen with the 9 of spades, pretty standard. So, fuck me. So annoying. All right, now we got 3-6 of clubs. I think this is the other table now. Raise it up. Okay, we flop nothing, so just bet so we can fold, please. Oh, shit. Now we have an open and straight draw. Okay, let's catch a deuce. Oh, 7, that's decent. We have a straight. Let's send the cookies here. Oh, you bet it all? Well, whatever. Fuck me, you got a flush. That's better than a straight. All right, this hand, I don't even want to show you this hand because this is not good. This is not GTO. This was, what the fuck was I doing here? All right, 3-bet, call bet, 4-bet, no problem. Top pair, let's go. Let's get it in. Big pot already. Now I got the pair. Let's put 40% bet out there. All right, let's think like no king, no diamond or some shit. No king. Oh, king of diamonds? All right, king of diamonds. All right. This seems like a really good spot to fucking burn the last bit of your 36K and stick it in when he's got aces. Genius. That was genius on the river there, Daniel. Well fucking done. Bravo. It's good to see you've been learning so much this last few weeks that you decided, oh, king of diamonds. Duh. I don't know. Am I bluffing? Duh. Am I value betting? I don't know. I just fucking whatever. Let's bet so he doesn't. So I don't have to face a tough decision. I'll just stick it in and pray. Good job, Daniel. All right, that was us on our way to losing a solid 4 buy-ins to start the week. We better play better on Wednesday. That was not our best effort.
Oh, and with that, do we have an early start? I do believe we have an early start. Well, so let's do this.
I wasn't ready. You know, you caught me off guard. I was blowing my nose, but you know what? We'll start.
Yeah, I think we're on. I think we're good to go. I think we're starting. Welcome in. This is High Stakes Feud. Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. It's round 17. Thank you all for joining us once again. My name is Jeff Platt. Excited to be here once again with Egption. It's Patrick Tardif. Welcome back to High Stakes Feud, my good man.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be back. It's you know, at this point it's a Wednesday tradition for me, so
that's right.
Can't go wrong with the nice little Daniel v Polk saga. What is this? 17th, 18th? We're losing track now. It's getting a lot.
Yeah, 17th, a big Monday session for Doug Polk. He won about $160,000. I imagine, Egption, you've got to feel some real pressure at this point in the challenge now if you're Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, I think we're getting to, you know, we're like closer to it, around a third of the way through. And now the sort of win rates are starting to be calculated. And you're seeing, you know, Polk's tweeting. He's like, I've got a 14 BB win rate. Blah, blah, this and that with my EV. Or he's like, I got 20 big one. Anyways, big numbers. And, you know, now it's starting to be a little bit more of a crunch time where I feel like if Daniel could just trim the lead and make it, you know, within it somewhere between like an 8 to 10 buy-in range, I think at any point he's always live to, you know, swing it around and have things go his way. But he definitely at some point, ideally now, needs to stop the bleeding.
So let's get to those overall numbers. They played 7,921 hands. And to Patrick's point, Doug Polk up $674,000, about 17 behinds. What you're about to see, 2 tables of 200, 400, heads up, no limit Texas Hold'em on WSOP.com. Now the plan overall in the feud is to play 25,000 hands. There is an opt-out at the halfway point when they're 12,500 hands done with it. The losing player can opt out. I do not see that taking place. The buy-in for this is $40,000. Now you'll see if it gets down to less than 40K, they'll automatically top off to get back to 40K where the next hand begins. Egption, we talked about you know, as far as Negreanu numbers are concerned?
Yeah. I've brought the good luck. You know, the first time I watched Daniel set a high score for the most amount of stack you could have, or the biggest stack you could have. And I think the second time with Brent was, we quoted it was emotional. It was a very swingy back and forth affair where Daniel ended up winning like a $190,000 pot, $185,000 pot to, you know, just take the lead and end up edging a slight win. So I've been there for a big win. I've been there for a small win. I guess now it's a medium win for like, you know, 60 to 80. That's what we're due for.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think at this point Nick would take that. You got to bounce back in some form. He did have 3 straight wins, those being that emotional that you mentioned, but again, Doug Polk got him on Monday for $160,000. Hello to everybody in our wonderful YouTube chat here on GGPoker.tv. Be sure to like our channel. Be sure to subscribe. Big plans in the future for GG Poker's YouTube subscribers. And right now, right at this very moment, to say what's up to us. I see Chase is here. I see Trevor, Mario, Kevin. Jose, thank you all for being here. We very much appreciate it. Thank you. Patrick, have you gotten a chance to watch some of those Negreanu hand recap videos where perhaps he's having a glass of wine, perhaps 2 glasses, perhaps 0, and he's going over the real GTO route to victory?
No.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, if you, I appreciate the honesty. You could have faked him and like, yeah, those videos are very, very entertaining. But it's an honest guy with me. Corey Steele says, "Hey guys, good luck. Thank you, and thank you together. It's wonderful all EV spreadsheet. You're certainly a number and an Egption. It's safe to say that Negreanu has not run too well. That's not taking anything away from Doug Polk. It's just we're saying that Daniel Negreanu is running $262,000 below all EV. I imagine that's got to give Negreanu some confidence forward.
Yeah, I think you know, you it's always annoying when you're running under EV, and it's always just like, oh man, when will I finally hold for once? When will I finally get there for once? But there is like a little bit of comfort. It's like I'm losing, but it's not as bad as it's supposed to be. And I think there's wins in that. Like if Daniel was to be losing at the rate that he's losing now, and he's running over EV, if he's supposed to be losing more, I think it ends up being a little bit, you know, tougher to deal with. There's no silver lining. So at least we do have something to go with, you know, some silver lining with how things have ran so far.
Okay, so we have a session today, session tomorrow. We have a session Friday as well. So we have 3 straight sessions of high stakes feud for you before they take next week completely off. And then I think they'll shift to a 2 times a week schedule as we move forward, as we get into the holiday season. So we'll pass the 8,000 hands mark today. I would say that we probably expect a shorter session, but they have surprised us before. So let me put you on the spot, Egption, and you said we're about due for the Negreanu
medium
the medium win. So what's the number? What's the prediction?
You know, I haven't been put in the spot on the first or second time I've been in the booth, but the third time, you know, I feel like we're seasoned enough. We've seen enough. You know, I said medium win. Let's say 70. This is the number 77,300. That's the one.
Okay.
You know, I hope Daniel's not listening and I influence him, and then once he's up like 80K, he tries to lose a little bit, so I look better. You know, I don't want that to happen. You know, I want Daniel to play his best.
That would move the lead for Doug Polk under $600,000 if that did just so happen to be the case. Let's take a look at the odds from our good friends at Poker Shares. They have Doug Polk as a minus 2,500 overall favorite for the high stakes feud. That means if you bet 2,500 on Doug Polk, you would profit 100 if he did end up being the winner. Daniel Negreanu is now a 13-1 underdog. If you like the Negreanu side of things for this session, a little bit of an underdog. He's at plus 122 for session 17 and session 17 specifically. They've put in a prop there. Will Doug Polk be leading by over $1 million after 12,500 hands? The no is the favorite there, about a minus 170 favorite. The yes is a plus 145 underdog. I love the partnership, Patrick, of this kind of a little bit of a tangent that Poker Shares is now formed with GG as we do get to the action. I mean, to be able to bet on final tables within the client, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no bigger final table to bet on at the moment than the World Series of Poker Global Edition main event final table. That's going to be happening, I think, on Wednesday in Rosvedov, and I think they said it's sold out. I looked at the client. I was looking at the final table. I guess it's sold out. I don't know if they're taking any more action at the moment, but it's one heck of a feature, and it's one of those things like it's very intuitive and very. It's you know, industry leading, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being on one of those final tables like people could bet on me for as well.
That sounds good to us. I mean, last time the two of us were in the commentary booth together, we spoke about the Battle of Malta main event that was approaching that weekend, and you went ahead and final tabled that one. So you just tell me what we need to talk about this time to get you in the final table of something else. Yeah,
unfortunately, we couldn't get into the booth together for the WSP main.
Right.
That was You know, we
I
missed
blame
that
Hanks for that
opportunity.
one. Yep.
I think there's a couple big World Series of Poker circuit events, you know, going on over Christmas. We'll have to figure out one. You know, the $50 $1 mil, that's a big field. I don't know if I'm good enough to final table that one, but maybe there's some smaller ones I could find my way to weasel into a final table.
Like you mentioned, the final table for the GG version of the WSOP 10K main event is set. Bruno Bataillon will take the chip lead into Rosvadoff at King's Casino. I believe that is on Tuesday, where they will play down to a winner, and that winner will await the WSOP.com main winner. They'll meet heads up on December 30th for $1 million. Manuel Roivo in second, Damian Salas in third, makes another WSOP main event final table, I guess. So this final table could take a while. Full Baby Full in fourth, Hannes Spicer in fifth, and to round out our final table, Dominikas Michaelitis, Ramon Miguel Munoz, Peyon Sun, and Stoyan Obreshkov. Nailed all the pronunciations. Thank you very much. And let us get to the action. Here we go. High stakes feud. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, we got a couple of smaller pots here. Nothing's bloated too much. No massive 3-bet pots or anything just yet. But, you know, there's no rush. There's got to be a little bit of a lull before, you know, some epicness, as it looks like Doug takes down both pots on table 1 and table 2. One looked like, I think that was ace high. The other one looked like a weaker 2 pair.
Amanda Negreanu is in the chat. She will be back with us on Friday for our happy hour stream alongside Brent and myself. So thanks to Amanda for being here. Best of luck to the Negreanu fam today.
Yeah, no doubt. This is
an important
time.
day, it feels like.
Yeah.
So we're approaching that halfway point. We're just coming off first 3 straight wins for Negreanu, 3 straight smaller wins, and then a massive session for Doug Polk. So the response today, I feel like, is critical.
Yeah, I think when you start stringing some wins together and they aren't massive, and then, you know, it's kind of like you make some progress and then all of a sudden that progress is immediately stripped away. You know, it's a little bit emotionally trying. So, you know, just whenever you're battling these spots, you just want to keep making progress. You don't want to keep step backwards. So hopefully this is the time. Yeah, like I said, a medium win. You know, let's just get something going, something decent.
Perhaps our first ace flop of the high stakes feud on table 2. Amanda says, all good vibes over here. We got this. Amanda, we deleted it, but somebody tried to send you his number. So I'm sorry we got out in front of that one before you were able to see it.
Hopefully someone saved it so I can text them.
Right. Yeah. They'll be thrilled. They'll be thrilled to see that.
Anyone that posts their number in a YouTube chat, I can only imagine is top quality.
Positive Million says, good to see these 2 nice guys in the booth. Good mood for a long session. That's the hope. Thank you, Positive, for tuning in, and thank you all for being here.
Yeah, as we eagerly await our first at least 3-bet pot, something exciting.
Yeah, we'll get going here. We'll ramp up the action in a little bit, I'm sure. Jim says, is this just any negative word about Daniel message deleted kind of stream? It is not, actually. You know, you keep your messages classy. We'll take it all in. Are we a little biased towards the Negreanu side of the table? Absolutely. Does that mean he is immune from all criticism by all of you in the chat? No, it does not. How about a 4-bet pot, Patrick, on table 2 as Polk raises it up to about 11K?
Yeah, I think in these situations, it feels like it's just been, whenever there's a 4-bet, it's a lot of calling, and I think there's rational reasons towards that. If your opponent is going to be 4-bet bluffing a lot, you want to keep those in. There are some hands that want a 5-bet jam, but whenever we do see a 4-bet, it's always fun because we know we're going to the streets and we know things are going to get more interesting. Daniel betting large here on table 1 after check flop, check turn. I think it's a spot where he could check back some 10s on the flop, but I think it's pretty unrealistic. It's probably a situation where he's thin value betting some 6s and then maybe like a strong 5, but not as often. And then, you know, a fair amount of bluffs where Doug doesn't have anything too strong either.
A couple 3-bets for Negreanu gets through. A couple 3-bets get through. There we go. Kevin, isn't it important for DNegs to get ahead early today instead of grinding to try and get back to even? That's a great point. It has seemed like over this last week and a half or so, he has fallen way behind at the beginning. Now it's a lot easier to say that than to actually do that. And a lot of that, of course, relies on card distribution.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to win every hand you play, but it's just not the way it goes, you know? you'd love to start off with a win and then end with a big win, but yeah, you're at the whim of what cards are distributed to a degree. Yeah, I see a lot of, I think last time around I was talking about Saskatchewan. A lot of people are talking about my Regina roots and saying they're from Saskatchewan in the area.
Brent Hanks dove deep into the Egption backstory last week on High Stakes Feud.
Learned about my McDonald's past. It's I wouldn't say it's a hidden past, but it doesn't often come up. And a lot of wordplay when it comes to my old, my hometown.
Oh, really?
I can't
notice. That's weird.
I'm drawing a blank, but I just remember there was a lot, trying to rhyme. Or
you're saying Brent Hanks heard Regina and just started, making puns or witty lines? That's weird. I don't see it happening. Not from a true professional like Brent Hanks. Ace says, "What's up? What is up, Ace? How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for being here."
Oh, Daniel with a big river raise here on table 2.
7-7.
I feel like this is probably a bet flop check turn. Doug bets river. Daniel does take that one down. We got Unknown Prodigy in the chat who appears to be a doctor diagnosing Doug.
Oh.
If this sounds like some pretty serious concerns, perhaps we need to raise those ideas with Doug,
Oh, okay. Sociopathic, more methodical.
Searching for dopamine rushes, Jeez.
Yeah. It's too much dopamine gambling problem for Negreanu.
Yeah, I can only imagine, despite, no probable link to Doug, just watching him play cards and maybe a few tweets, I can only imagine when he could pick up from me doing commentary a few times.
Jonathan Little, our guy from Poker Coaching, is in the chat as well. Says, I have a McDonald's pass too. A bunch of people have worked there. Well, you mentioned the McDonald's pass. We'll have some correlation then with our analyst because Jonathan Little will join me tomorrow on this very stream for round 18 of High Stakes Feud.
We got a big pot here on table 2. I think this was, I would have to guess, a 4-bet pot. No, 3-bet pot. 3-bet pot, probably bet flop. Things getting a little spicy.
Queen of Spades on the river.
I think I'm wondering. I think it depends on whether or not Daniel had bet flop or checked.
You know what we can do after this hand? We can fire up the replay, break it down. Got Eric running our replays today. Carlin running the show. James overseeing the operation. Jeff, Patrick, Alex in the mix. Thank our crew for helping us out, for making us at least look decent.
Yeah.
The tough task.
Us. Oh, big bet.
Polk fires 9K.
These are always the fun spots where we get to wait in anticipation. And we do see the fold. No showdown this time. As I do believe the replay about to kick off here.
Yes, and here it is.
Please be right on the 3-bet. Nailed it.
There we go.
I'm given the sizing. I imagine it's probably a 2K bet. No. Okay, so it does look like Daniel does check call flop.
Check call flop, yeah.
For a third size. On the ace turn, I think this is going to be a spot where Doug's probably not going to want to barrel as often. Daniel's going to have a fair amount of ace highs that probably don't want to bloat the pot and c-bet and then plan to check, do pretty well on this turn. And I think once Daniel checks again on the river, he probably doesn't have anything too strong. He doesn't have anything like 2-pair, like, ace-6, ace-5. I mean, he can have some of it to plan to check raise, but I think naturally it's probably ends up being more of a bet itself. So I think if Doug in that situation has an ace or any sort of, decent 2-pair, he can, pretty easily value bet, or if he wants to turn some 10 highs or some things that he doesn't think have showdown like 1-pairs, he could fire away there. Fun one.
Pierce in the chat says, Patrick slips in some good commentary here and there when, that is, he's not sipping a divine elixir and suffering from a short-term bout of separation anxiety from his beloved Regina.
Yeah,
well said.
There it is. We're just getting the psychoanalysis that I needed.
Well said.
Back to the McDonald's point, though. I think if Jonathan Little's an alumni as well, I think that the best. I think the front runner for McDonald's alumni now, I think it's just Dan Cates. I think Jungle Man's the guy. And
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if there's anyone as close, to be proud to be a part of the McDonald's alma mater.
Turned out all right for Jungle Man.
Yeah, no.
And nothing against Mickey D's. Mickey D's is awesome. Great food, great fries, great milkshakes.
Multi-billion-dollar company I was a part of.
Yeah, they do fairly well. So you see the total on the bottom of your screen. You see the number of hands played. We'll get up to more than 8,000 hands played today for sure. And then we'll see how it goes. Jansen, how many rounds do they play? They're playing 25,000 hands.
Yeah, I think we're at the whim of, how fast or slow some of the hands go. You never really know.
Sure.
It's
a bit difficult to tell.
Yeah, they don't hit like 300 hands and go, oh, it's time to stop.
Right.
It's just we find out how many hands they play as they do. I guess we have a decent sized pot here. Table 2, $7,000 in the middle. Checks to Polk here.
10, 10, deuce, 9, 7, rainbow board. The overbet here from Doug Polk.
Fun.
Negreanu lays it down.
Opting to pick a very polarizing, representing a strong hand or nothing. It also could be a situation where he knows Daniel doesn't have anything strong, is when you can pick an overbet size if he thinks that Daniel doesn't have any traps or stuff like that, is stuck with mostly hero calls. That's a time to pick an overbet as well. Someone in the chat notifying me also, perhaps not a poker player, but Nade Shots, one of the co-founder of 100 Thieves, one of the apparel I'd been wearing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean,
He's
if we went
McDonald's
through the
alumni.
whole McDonald's alumni list, we'd have some true superstars, along with yourself, of course.
Yeah, there's no. I'm not seeing any Burger King, alumni
Right.
posts. No, nobody's talking about the best to come out of Taco Bell. At least that's the trend I'm picking up at.
Ooh, 10 ball on the river. Doug Polk gets there for an 11K pot.
Had quite a few good outs. That was one of the worst ones he could have hit.
Ruben, love to hear this. Hey guys, I would just like to thank you for the free rolls. I've cashed on the GG Masters thanks to you. Well, that's thanks to the GG squad, but we'll take the thank you wishes, and we will have a couple more free rolls for you guys today. One coming up in 14 minutes. I'll give you the password in 4 minutes. You can make that magic happen.
But remember, though, every time you ask for the password, you have to wait an additional minute.
That's right. So you cannot be very careful. Somebody in the chat, sorry if I missed it, asked if Phil Hellmuth would ever join us. I would say there's a chance. There's a chance. Perhaps we bring in Phil as a special guest one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, Phil loves to do this sort of stuff, and Phil and Daniel are, I'm pretty sure, really good friends. There's some banter back and forth whenever I've seen them on TV, but I imagine I think it would be a good, there's some good brainstorming there, getting Phil in. I'd love to hear about some, didn't he beat Esfandiari in the heads up shoot duel there?
Yep. The high stakes duel won rounds 1, 2, and 3 to win 400K. 350K profit against Esfandiari.
Yeah.
TSC asked us about our hobbies, and then Alex, one of our mods, said, Jeff loves to go on Tinder dates. Some people say that's not a hobby. It's
if it's extracurricular activities,
right. You said besides poker, that's all.
Yeah. There's not a lot to do, in COVID times either.
What would you say your hobbies are, Egption?
Honestly, during COVID, probably next to nothing. I think my time off nowadays, it's just more poker.
Yeah.
Just watching TVs. I think before, playing a little bit more video games, stuff like that. But I'm as boring as it gets. I'm not gonna lie. Any
good TV series recommendations at the moment for us, for the people?
The traditional. I watched Queen's Gambit recently. I think Mandalorian I just started watching as well, and I'm caught up. And I think Sons of Anarchy. I think it's a classic one. I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I started it. And I'm enjoying it. It's a good one. A lot.
That's right. That's right. When we talked last, you had mentioned that you were just firing that up.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think I'm almost I don't know how many episodes each season has, and I don't know how many episodes season 1 has. And I think it's
Yeah.
better if I don't know.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
I think I swear, like every time I watch an episode, I'm like, this has to be the season finale. And then there's like, oh, it's season 1, episode 9. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Okay, here we go. I like it.
Yeah.
And you were telling me before we came on the air that about the new trend. The thing, what's the thing to do for you YouTubers, streamers? It's something to do with Pokemon.
Yeah,
Packs?
yeah, opening Pokemon cards. Pokemon collecting in the Pokemon card market has skyrocketed due to some serious influencers, primarily Logan Paul, famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I've just been watching people open $30,000, $20,000 boxes of Pokemon cards. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to it's
Good sweat.
It's not the best investment
Okay.
to buy an unopened box, because you're probably not going to get your money back. But you know, it's an interesting form of gambling when you're watching it, and I think that's what brings me into it.
So say, is it like same kind of thing as a pack of like basketball cards or something?
Yeah, it's just like, you just
I-
buy a pack and hope to get the perfect one.
Okay.
You know, you're always aiming for the Charizards, whatever it ends up being, and there's some, I mean, there's some nostalgia with it. I mean, Pokemon comes close to heart, I imagine, with everyone in the chat. I don't think there's very many people that didn't have, you know, Pokemon as a instrumental part of their childhood, unless I feel like even the older generation, you know, if you weren't like anywhere between like 3 to 12 when Pokemon first came out.
Amanda Negreanu in the chat. Queen's Gambit's great. Suns is also good. Sounds silly, but I'm super into Lucifer. I feel like that's such a devoted fan base. Not the biggest fan base in the world, but a very devoted one. Daniel.
Massive chat raise here. Table.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Polk makes it about 10.8K. Negreanu
Oh, we see the
calls, so
call.
more than 24K in the middle. King of Spades on the river. Negreanu with 30K behind.
I feel like traditionally when we see those massive check raises, we almost see Daniel fold. So this is going to be, at least the times I've watched, Doug picks these like massive 4.5, 5.5x raises. Does find the jam.
All of it. The snap call from Negreanu. Oh, he had turned a straight when Polk had turned a flush. I mean, how many times have we seen that absolute cooler on the turn or on the river? The thumbs down from Negreanu.
No, that's those aren't the things you're gonna want to have if you're trying to build some momentum here.
So we check out the replay. Polk had flopped the flush draw. Negreanu had flopped the open ender. And then yuck.
Yeah, I think regardless of what happens, Daniel is going to probably get stacked here. I think it's a spot where I don't know if we necessarily need to min bet these boards, especially at the stack depth. Maybe if we were shallower, you know, like 30, 40 bigs. But I think regardless what happens, especially with Daniel having the 7 of clubs, he's going to deny a lot of the, he's going to block a lot of the relevant flush draws and flushes that'll be check raising the turn. And then once we get to the river, I think Doug's probably repping some like king of clubs or just some relevant blockers that he's probably, if he's going to check raise there, he's going to unload the clip on. So anytime he's bluffing there, he's going to complete the jam on the turn.
Negreanu over betting river on table 2 for a decent pot after Polk fold.
Yeah, first all in and call, not going Daniel's way. And it's one of those things too where like Daniel doesn't get any all in EV for it. It's straight, you know, 40K line down for his EV graph, but those are spots where he's just on the wrong side of a cooler, and you know, the EV line doesn't really do it justice.
Daniel in the chat asks us, what do you think DNegs needs to adjust in order to win or to break even before this is all over? Bluff more and give up when necessary? I mean, it's hard. It's certainly hard for me to say as certainly a non-qualified poker player for these high stakes heads up ranks. And it's even hard for just an absolute expert like one Patrick Tardif to say, because you don't see many of the whole cards, right? I mean, you're missing 95% of the whole cards. So it's just like, it's just very tough to be like, oh, Daniel needs to do this more. Doug needs to do this more. It's just, I feel like it's just tough for anybody to say.
Yeah, it's not a thing where you can just like boil it down to like, yeah, he needs to bluff more. I mean, poker is a much more complex and intricate game, especially heads up poker. There's so many different intricacies and different aspects that, you know, Daniel can improve upon to close the gap in these sort of
Sure.
situations. And since we're not behind the scenes, we're not seeing all the hands, we're not seeing all the decision makings, and I personally haven't seen almost every part of every pot that's been played. It's impossible to answer a question like that. And even if I was qualified, it's still something like, if I was in Daniel's corner, it's not something I could probably answer in like 10 seconds.
So registration open now for the free roll. The password is Big50, BIG50. That is the password for the GGPoker.tv free roll. That free roll will award 5 seats right into that Big 50, the 1 milli guarantee. Again, 5 seats to the Big 50 using the password Big50 on GG Poker. And let us know how you do. Let us know if you want a seat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fun tournament, a $50 tournament, $1 million guarantee. That's about as big as the $50 tournaments get nowadays. So
we have $100 million guaranteed by GG throughout the course of this World Series of Poker online circuit. We'll have some commentary for you guys starting a week from Saturday. I think that will feature the Big 50 final table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are always the fun ones to watch, because whenever you see like a field that has like 10,000, 20,000 people, I think that one will probably get like 30,000 runners. You're not always going to have the best of the best on the final table. You're going to have a mixed gambit of like, maybe there's a couple seasoned pros, a couple small stakes grinders, and then a lot of recreationals, a lot of people that don't play for a living. Mm-hmm. So there's more interesting and exciting dynamics that end up showing up that you don't traditionally see when you see these big final tables with big money for first. It's going to be, I think it's going to be it's always a fun one, because there's a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room for errors that end up transpiring that just create exciting drama.
Apple juice in the chat. Jeff, if the GG thing falls through, you're going to be a Tinder spokesman next. No free ads though. Yep, but my people talk with their people. Camille says, Amanda, you are a legend. You should star in the new Aquaman. Amanda, I bet you haven't heard that one before. That's a cool one. Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa and Amanda Negreanu.
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't, I'll take that spot. I get to hang out with Jason.
I'm not sure if the casting director is like, let's either go Amanda Negreanu or Patrick Tardif here.
I mean, let's not get into semantics here. Okay. Let's just look at it for what it is.
Just a secondary starring role is what we're going for.
And the not sure if. Well, I mean, that's fair.
That's the casting director's response.
I mean, if we even got a response, I imagine we might get left on red.
Mike says Jeff looks like the guy that plays Lucifer. That could be a compliment, an insult. I don't know. I haven't seen the show.
See that. No. I mean, yeah. I think if you pulled him up to the side, he's a very attractive young man. I don't know if he's young anymore.
Hey, I'll take it then.
I don't. Yeah. Sorry. I looked to the left and I saw the real time, and I was like, I thought Carlin did the not sure if for that as well. I was like, come on. No, I got hit by the secondary stream there. No, I think my parents watch that show, and I know they like it, so I trust my parents with their TV drama recommendations.
Darren says, Jeff, man, why can't I find the free roll on GG? Somebody help Darren out. I don't. Patrick can do it. I can't. When you're in the U.S. and I have the GG Poker client, I can sweat the tables. So when you figure it out, whenever you final table or something, let us know. Come sweat.
Yeah, I think it's probably something like just the wrong filters. Make sure you have satellite selected or private on, stuff like that.
8K in the pot on table 2. 3-bet pot goes check on the flop. Second club pops up on the turn.
Yeah, there should be a turn that gets a little bit of action. I think when it goes check, Daniel or Doug's able to, go big. He doesn't, but could have been a spot where he goes big and then barrels again. Daniel with position. I think it's a spot where when Doug checks twice, he kind of just has license to kill. He's going to be able to barrel a lot, attack, and let's see what answer Doug comes with here.
Just check call. I think that's a blank on the river.
I don't think this is a river that will traditionally slow Daniel down. He's going to have some hands that are going to want to bet turn to deny equity and then check river. Some weaker tens. Oh,
ooh. Polk had turned the straight.
With the flush draw as well.
Ooh.
The gut shot straight flush draw. Wow. That's I imagine that was a time where Doug's yelling, bet, bet. You know, I think traditionally watching a lot of Doug's old Twitch content, it was just a lot of fold, call, a lot of screaming stuff like that. I can imagine he's probably doing that there.
Or bet by Negreanu on table 1.
No decision made yet by Doug. Ooh, here we go.
Here's the call. 8-3 deuce rainbow. About 22K in the pot. Negreanu 29K behind.
I think this is a spot where, I mean, he didn't, but this is like in a 4-bet pot. You know, if Doug's going to be flatting things like aces and kings, you know, he's going to be able to lead this board sometimes. He didn't, but it would have been fun, and I would have felt really smart if he had did, and I had said it before. But you know, it is what it is. Daniel with the smaller bet. These guys aren't too deep. It's not hard for Daniel to put all the chips in. He doesn't need to bet big here. There's almost nothing to deny equity against. Barely any draws.
30K in the middle.
I think this is a spot where, yeah, Daniel is probably almost always just going to be betting small and preparing for a river jam. And Doug, I think, needs to make the decision here. He's either going to call and be prepared to hold the river jam, or, you know, he opts to fold there. Does get out of the way.
Nice pickup for Daniel Negreanu.
A little bit of momentum, you know, anytime you pick up a nice, you know, 15K pot immediately puts those chips back to work. As anytime Daniel wins chips on this table 1 now, they just get deeper and deeper stacked, which then provides greater content.
King Jack 9 2 spades, a spicy flop. A 3-bet pot. Negreanu leads for 3,200. Quick fold from Doug Polk. So perhaps capitalizing on that momentum.
Yeah, chipping away at the chips recently lost.
I'd mentioned the WSOP circuit commentary, the WSOP circuit final tables, and that will start 1 week from Saturday, December 19th. And then we'll feature final tables every Saturday. So that's 6:30 p.m. GMT, which is 10:30 a.m. Pacific, which is 1:30 p.m. Eastern. You know, went about that in a kind of weird direction, but you guys get what I'm saying. We'll have the Big 50 final table on the 19th, the mini main final table on the 26th, January 2nd, the Christmas Colossus final table, January 9th, the 10K heads up. That's always a blast for the final 4. And then January 16th, the final table of the main event. I'll be on the call with Brent Hanks throughout all of those. Looking forward to that on GGPoker.tv, and looking forward to perhaps sweating a couple of Egption final tables. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, Nano Noko and Kevin Martin had the privilege of my last final table. I think it's only fair that you and Brent get a shot,
right?
As well. Yeah,
we were pretty jealous of him.
Yeah, I didn't put up the most impressive result on the final table, but I was kind of just shackled to what cards I was dealt that particular time. There was a comment in the chat. Robert Miles says, "How does he show up with Queen 8 of clubs there? Such a crummy hand, hit so hard for Doug." So one of the fun things about heads up no limit hold'em is when you're raising and 3-betting and 4-betting, you sometimes have bluffs and you sometimes have weaker hands, because if you're only value betting and only raising big hands, it's relatively simple to combat. You know, if somebody only ever 3-bets you with super strong hands, it's not that hard to make the adjustment and go, okay, well, if he's only 3-betting strong hands, okay, I'll just fold some of my weaker hands. It's one of the aspects, especially pre-flop, where being a little bit more balanced does make things more interesting post-flop. And, you know, any inaccuracies pre-flop that your opponent will make is very exploitable, is the buzzword, but, you know, in reality is the situation.
I like how you throw out the buzzwords, though.
Yeah.
Be sure to use frequency a couple times next hour or so.
I mean, I'm especially when I'm streaming, anytime I do anything that's we'll call speculative, I'll tend to go, yeah, just low frequency. Yeah, that
gives you the out, right? That makes it a good play. Oh God, this is a pretty low frequency spot here. You're still gonna go for it.
Yeah, I never use RNG when I play, but I love saying, yeah, I rolled it, just because like it makes me laugh and it makes me smile. I don't really care if anyone else enjoys it. I think some people do, but Also if my opponents are watching and they hear I rolled it, maybe they take that serious, and I appreciate that. I'm more, I'm from North America. We're field players out here. These are that I play against. They're all about their GTO and
these randomizers, frequencies, solvers, all that.
No.
Take you to the streets. Does he have it or does he not?
I like to look them in the snap cam eyes. Snap cam.
Yeah, you can get huge reads off that. How about a 4-bet from Negreanu here while 3-betting on table 2 and getting called by Polk?
Street poker being initialized. Will we see a flop decision from Doug before a pre-flop decision here? Oh, here we go. I'm in 2 big boards here.
He's 10-3 rainbow, Jack 8-6 rainbow. Negreanu wins on table 2.
Yeah, table 2 could have been a pretty interesting one because there's a lot of backdoors and they're definitely deep enough for something to transpire. Table 1, I think it's a pretty strong board for Daniel. Doug's going to have some floats. He's going to have some strong stuff. He can still have top set. He can still have middle set. I don't think he's going to have pocket 3s in the spot as often. I'm not too sure with heads up 3-betting frequencies having 3s, but I don't think they peel 4-bets. Yeah, but Doug's going to have a couple strong things, but not too much. Ace 10. Well, it does look like it's going to be a situation where Daniel's going to bet small, but they are deeper this time around. They were about 150 bigs deep rather than the 100 big blinds prior. As we make it to the river.
Calls this time, 43,000 in the pot. The snap check from Polk.
I think it's a situation where both of them are going to have the nut flush as well. Like none of them.
All of it.
Jam. Pretty easy decision.
Polk makes the call. Wow. Polk at flop top pair. Negreanu at flop top set with the pocket aces. And again, that'll help his pocket aces run good, get back to normal as he's won a couple of nice pots with aces over this last week. All right. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Very easy decision pre-flop to just 4-bet, And when you get aces, somebody before was talking about what's with this queen 8. He's going to be a big fan of this play out of Daniel with aces. I think it's a spot where Daniel is very, very comfortable jamming, especially when he has the ace of spades. It makes sense why he acted pretty quickly on the river. Doug's going to have a tough time making it here with flushes. It's going to have to be something like king 10, queen 10, jack 10 of spades. That's only like 3 combinations of hands versus the infinite amount of stuff, or not infinite, but the larger quantity of hands that Doug could have here. I do think the hero call here, I think it's a bit, I guess I haven't seen what, Daniel's been tripling off here. I think it's a pretty thin hero call with ace 8. I think one of the benefits of his exact hand is he doesn't block any of the sort of Broadway combos that Daniel could be tripling off. Yeah, a fun one for Daniel. And I think in its own way, it's a bad beat for Daniel because winning a pot like this with aces, he loses that ability to moan about not running well. Good so, point. I mean, there's pros and cons to this. Daniel's unfortunately going to lose. He's going to lose the moans with aces, but he's also going to win 110,000. I think we can probably outweigh it with the win, but gotta look at both sides of the coin here.
If that did come spade, and Polk did have spade somehow, some way, I think that the Negreanu computer would be out the window and we'd have a pretty short session today. Instead, the aces.
Yeah. Might have had our first sit out of the session.
Right. Danish Alex says, all Jeff's plays at the table are low frequency plays. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, it looks like chat was a big fan of that one. A lot of yeses and saw one big sweet with a lot of ease. All right.
And here we go for Negreanu. Apple juice, good question. Jeff, do you use RNG on Tinder? It's yeah. Does it make sense?
I mean, I feel like that would be
left. If I'm at a 50-50 spot, would run it.
Yeah, if you're not sure which line to open with, you just
right. Got a couple.
Run
plays.
The RNG, grab run 1 to 10, and then if you roll a 7, you grab the 7th pickup line you've got in your repertoire. Understandable. Shua Baba in chat asking, how can you put your opponent on a hand when ranges are so wide and heads up poker? Well, I mean, it's a situation where I might not know the exact ranges for situations. I might not know the exact heads up ranges. I could pull some up and take a peek and look. But I think there are spots where things are just a little bit more intuitive, and a lot of, you know, me personally playing a lot of poker myself, playing a lot of games, you know, I get to naturally just have an idea of what sort of things show up here and what should and what shouldn't, just through my studying and my past. It's one of those things where, you know, the more you play, the more hours you put in, the more studying you do, things just become a little bit more intuitive. And you know, that's one of the end results of putting in study hours.
Mm-hmm.
Or watching a lot of poker. Yeah, it does look like, you know, Daniel got paid a bit with his own money, but he's the one with the chips, and Doug's on reload on both tables. That's always a good sign for our hero.
Our hero, latest tally has him up more than $20,000 for the session, which gets the lead down to about $650K for Doug Polk.
Let's go. We're only 50K away, and then we're just going to need Daniel to stop.
Hey, JP says Patrick Tardif brings good luck to DNegs. Is Egption looking to go 3-0 on commentary as far as Negreanu wins are concerned?
At this point, I think Daniel's going to have to start paying me for me to not play my poker sessions anymore, so I can keep staying in the commentary booth. You know, I don't want to jinx it yet, but I think after 4 sessions, it's probably, I think third, it's like, haha, it's funny. But like, I think once 4 happens and he continues to win, it's like, all right, well, maybe there's some truth to this.
Nah, I think big enough sample size already. I mean, we have 2-0 in the big pot with aces. Like, come on.
It could just be a situation too, where he knows I'm in the commentary booth and he wants to bring his A game because he knows I'm watching. Could be one of those too.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
As I see some behind the scenes.
Yep.
You guys are going to be seeing that in a moment, or maybe you see it now.
Yeah, the good luck charm, Patrick Tardif.
I just think it's a little early. I think this is, you know, I am a field player.
This is like jinxing it.
Yeah, I am a field player, and this is getting me uneasy. We'll leave it for now. Now. Oh, we have a massive pot here. I was staring at the good luck charm, but little did I know, in the middle of the screen, Daniel's betting 75% here on the river. $13,000 pot prior to this bet. Doug with the decision. Doug with a jam.
Wow.
Daniel now with the tough river decision.
Check raise for all of it.
Well, we can confirm Daniel doesn't have ace queen because he hasn't called yet. He does have king. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Kings and threes for Negreanu. He even turned a flush draw. It was top set for Doug Polk this time. This time a set of kings. We see the cooler emoji. That river. Ugh.
I guess it's only fair. I mean, Daniel coolers him top pair versus top set. I think, as we look back at this one, it's a 3-bet pot. Doug continuing with his top set. Daniel picking up the flush draw on the turn, which is, you know, going check. I do like the check out of Daniel. I think it's a spot where Doug's still going to have some strong kings. And, you know, controlling the pot, realizing the equity, hitting the hearts is always good. And then when he just rivers 2-pair, Doug checks. Seems like a pretty clear value bet. And then once you see the check jam on the river, Doug could be turning, you know, things like queen 10, queen jack into a bluff, feeling like he's not going to win at showdown. Daniel's just going to be value betting a lot. He's going to have some bluffs in his range, as well as the obvious check raise for value, I guess, with top set. And I think it's a spot too where Daniel doesn't expect Doug to have, you know, king jack, king 10. Those things are probably going to be betting turn, king 8 exactly as well. Those things would have probably continued. So Doug's value betting range is going to probably end up check raising range. It's going to be pretty thin for value there. Unfortunate one for Daniel. That's rough.
And that'll do it for the good luck charm. So if producer Carlin, we can just remove that one. That it was fun while it lasted. I think our tally, Jeff had that one at 25 seconds.
Yeah, we could probably just have.
Never mind. Wow, Polk was runner clubs for a flush. He had flopped a pair of 10s.
I think it was I think he bet half pot on the river there as well.
He's over betting here on the river on table 1.
It's like Doug is on one right now. He's picking up pot after pot. Yeah, I had the feeling, you know, putting the
yeah, you were, to your credit, you were fairly concerned about it before that hand started.
You gotta wait until the session's over before you gotta give me a little bit more leeway. Leave everything as it is. Don't touch anything.
High stakes feud round 17. Jeff Platt, Egption, Patrick Tardif here with you today.
Formerly
Thank you for
known as
joining
the
us.
Good Luck Charm.
Right. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, say what's up to us in the chat.
I think there's been a fair amount of questions. I think we've had a moment. People are asking why the nickname Egption.
Yes, I was going to say we should do one of the explainers per stream because we're going to get a new audience per stream. So I think this is a good time, about 45 minutes in, to give the people who are unfamiliar with you why Egption and why do you spell it that way?
Yeah, it's nothing,
right, guys.
It's nothing too crazy. It stems back from my online alias and my times playing Xbox and my Halo ventures. And then before then, I used to play a game called Conquer Online. And my buddy made the account name. And I ended up sticking with it. Nothing too crazy. It's a really boring story, and I'm making it even boringer. But we do, what's not boring is this river raised by Doug here.
Well played.
Daniel in a bit of a bin here, unless he's got it. With beta bet, I mean, these guys are very, very deep here. I think about 70,000 to start, and Daniel does find the fold. It looks like I'm also getting asked, do I only play MTTs? Yeah, for the most part. I think I very rarely dabble in cash, and if I do, it's nothing serious. Just a big fan of, playing the old multi-table tournament variant. Stick with one thing, get really good at it, and go from there. And how many do I play a day? It's not something I track. I play a lot. I think I've got something like, I feel like I'm like somewhere between 7,500 to 8,000 this year. Which is
that's
a lot.
That's a sizable amount, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been COVID. I haven't been able to go outside. There's nothing else to do. So putting in some heavy hours.
Scott Stewart, I doubt this point. I've watched all of these and you guys have never mentioned one of my chats. Sad. Not true, because I remember mentioning specifically drinking a Budweiser, and that just always reminds me of you. So inaccurate, Scott Stewart. Fake news. Best of luck in the WSOP main in the US if you're playing. Overbet from Polk on the river.
Takes it down.
Yeah, MS says Daniel doesn't know how to play heads up cash. It's really that simple.
Oh,
I'm guessing it's not really that simple, MS, but thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, if you can't beat Doug Polk heads up cash, I mean, what are you doing with your life, bud? Like, come on. You can't beat Doug Polk. Who's that guy? He's just a truck driver or something. I don't know.
It's just simple. It's simple. We can sum it up. We can go home.
Can't beat a truck driver. Unbelievable. What is wrong with Daniel? I just can't. He's right. Unbelievable. Wonderful takes. Only the best in YouTube.
Anthony asked, Patrick, would you say a decent multi-table tournament player should be cashing 1 out of 5 in general?
It's not something I look at. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently people talk about like 30%, like 25, 30%. I just focus on playing good, see what happens. There's statistics that people can get caught up on when they're reviewing, their MTT results. I think it's just, you just got to control what you can, which is, learning and getting better and pre-flop ranges and stuff like that. I wouldn't focus too much on how much you cash, as we have.
Same. Just go for the damn win, folks. Hate all this ICM junk.
Yeah, I mean, it's C.
Just go
Darwin.
for the title.
The Swedes put this random shackle on our hands and told us you have to respect money. I think it's just,
I don't like
that's
it.
a problem. Doug picking up a big one on the left. Daniel.
6-card full house.
Too
3
many
7s, 3 5s.
Double trips, as we call it in the industry. 3 of same twice. It's very hard to get value in those spots when you have all of the cards that they can call with.
Gregory says, great score in the Battle of Malta, Egption. First time I watched your stream. Now a big fan.
Well, glad to have you on board. There's no better time. I appreciate, anyone joining in at any point. Yeah, it was, we've had a couple hype moments in the month of November. We had my best online month to date. I think February 2020 was probably my best month to date with the live score plus doing well online.
And what was that live score again?
The World Poker Tour side event in Niagara for 212,000 Canadian. I got second.
Baby.
Oh,
So
as
like
with our
50K US.
I think at the time it was
I'm kidding.
60K.
Yeah. All right, first banana break, bathroom break of the day, whatever you want to call it. Jeff Platt, Patrick Tardif, thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. Ron in the chat. Jonathan Little called Doug Polk GTO robot. I think it's accurate. Daniel is ballsy for taking the challenge. I think it's good for him and his game. And I think, Patrick, that it's good for the game of poker as well to have this high stakes feud going on.
Yeah, I think it's good to see you, just because someone's better than you or, has put in a lot of hours doesn't mean you can't challenge, doesn't mean you can't battle. And I think we all win at the end. Except for the person that loses this challenge, they're going to lose some money, but unless you bet money as well, maybe you win or lose as well. But I think overall we're going to win with the content side of things.
Do you think the odds about where you would have them at? And again, Poker Shares as Doug Polk at minus 2,500, so a pretty significant favorite, putting Daniel at a 13-1 underdog.
Yeah, I don't know. If you were to offer me, I bet 2,500 to win 100. I just, whenever it comes to sums like that, I'll just pass.
Yeah, it's just so boring to bet on a huge favorite, right?
Yeah, it's just not worth it either. Like I would not enjoy winning 100 as much as I would losing 2,500.
Oh my god!
Just the risk reward there just isn't there for me.
It'd just be painful.
I think it's maybe it's a little bit less. I think maybe like 20-1. It's just a random field play on that one, but
okay.
So it's probably a good bet. But
our latest numbers have Negreanu down 37K for the session, which means Polk is up more than 700K for the overall feud. Salco, Jeff, who is your favorite pro wrestler? I got to go The Rock, Salco. I mean, come on.
I don't. So The Rock's your favorite? Did you know him and I are boys?
Yeah. Are you guys good friends?
Yeah. Well, if you check his, I don't know if you saw it his Insta page. I was actually on one of his more recent posts.
Like as a commenter?
No, as it was in his video.
Doing what?
He was so I don't know if you knew this, but I took part in a Gamers Outreach. I've done a couple charity streams, and he recently partnered with Gamers Outreach to.
Yes, I remember this. Okay.
Yeah. And I was in one of his Instagram posts because he used my YouTube video of me donating the carts. So I was in there, and my mom was in the video.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, you thought I was capping. You thought I was messing around there. I was dead serious.
Yeah, wow. You and The Rock. As
I know.
Nick says, Rock Flex, indeed.
I call him DJ. Other people call him The Rock.
Right, friend DJ. That is awesome. The Rock, for that movie Skyscraper, when he put out the preview, I said something about it. And he retweeted my tweet. Massive moment for my Twitter following. And then unfortunately The Rock, I think he had misspelled something in his tweet, so he deleted that. So his retweet of mine said it just made it less popular, and it was kind of a bummer. But overall, still my guy. Yeah,
I mean, you got to take your wins regardless of how big or small. As Doug betting pot here on table 1. Doug seems to be firing all these big bets lately in this session. Oh, and Daniel with the raise,
the snap fold.
I mean, that's a fun spot too, because it's I wouldn't mind watching that one back, but whenever you have situations like those boards, it's very hard to get creative, and it's very, very hard to ever expect bluffs there. I'd love to run that one back.
You say watch it back, so let's do it.
As we have a single raise pot, Daniel checking the flop, definitely going to have some queens in his range here. It does look like a spot where Doug pots the turn and then pots the river. I don't know how many times Doug is going to be potting turns with Queen X. He could have some King Queen, some Queen 10, but I think it's Yeah, I think Queen 10 is probably a fair hand to still have due to, I think we could still expect Daniel to be c-betting a lot of his stronger queens. It's also a spot where Daniel's probably not going to bet too many of his Queen 5s, Queen 6s. He's probably not going to get too much value from a lot of things. So yeah, it's a spot where Doug can fire with some Queen X, but realistically, he probably just has a decent amount of jacks and then 10 high bluffs, 8 high bluffs, 9 high bluffs. And Daniel probably just added there. I think it's a spot. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of hard to get creative, so it probably did just have the queen. Fun one.
Fun one indeed. The raise on the river, the fold from Polk.
Yeah, those are always double paired boards. Tough to get creative.
Pierce, do either of the commentators think there's a chance DNegs might fold entirely at the midway point? At what loss amount should DNegs consider the quit? I'll go first on this one, Egption. I do not think that Negreanu will opt out. The midway mark, the halfway mark, as Alex says in the chat. There's a ton of side action going on. I think he feels good. I think he feels confident. So I should rephrase. Of course, there's always a chance, but it's just very, very, very small in my mind. And he also asked, at what loss amount should DNegs consider quitting? I don't know. I don't have the Negreanu bank account, his feel for the game, how good he feels while he's playing, if he thinks he can win in the future. So I don't know. Egption, how about you? Do you think that there's a chance Negreanu might bow out at the halfway point?
I mean, I would say there's a chance. I think it depends what happens in the next 4,000 hands. I mean, it could be a situation where, obviously Daniel's going to be getting better as we progress, but let's not change the fact that Doug is static and he's only going to get, he's going to stay at the same level.
Right.
He's somebody that's, he's played a lot of heads up in his lifetime. He's battled against a lot of very, very strong people and stayed ahead of them and got better than them and kept beating those guys. So, I mean, it's a situation too where, Daniel's improving, but so is Doug. Doug's going to get better. And Doug has made his poker career out of beating very, very tough people and continuously battling and solving for how to beat players. So it could still be a situation too where Doug improves his win rate. Doug just gets better. Doug finds a couple massive leaks, and we're not in the DNegs camp, and we're also not his accountant. So in terms of whether or not he actually will, I don't think we're qualified for that sort of judgment. We're just here as commentators that are helping bring making this a little bit more exciting for you guys and a little bit more understandable.
Lynn Barry said she was part of the online charity tournament that Negreanu also played in on Sunday. Negreanu busted in the third hour, and Lynn, a lowly amateur, placed third. Not so lowly, Lynn. Well done. Who in the chat won the free roll? Who in the chat got a seat to the Big 50 coming up? The $1 million guarantee World Series of Poker circuit event.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's an all-in, only all-in one. I imagine there's a
I think this one was. This one was a quick one. A lot of skill. If you guys need help on those tournaments, you can ask me. Help on any other tournaments, you can ask Patrick.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any sort of dance money rain dance routine to
I can't give away my secrets, unfortunately.
So we shouldn't ask you then.
Well, you did. Yeah, back to the action. 200 400 bonds. 200 400 and a rate on both tables.
Keeping it $1.50. I dig it. Unknown prodigy letting me know, or telling me your orange gaming chair looks comfy. Yeah, I think I've owned this for a little over 3 years now. I think it's one of the better investments I've made. My butt thanks me. I used to have problems sitting for long periods of time. It would just hurt. It's if you're going to be sitting for 8 to 14 hours a day, it's just like getting a good bed. It's just a good investment. It only makes sense if your job requires you to sit.
I need to get one of those good gaming chairs.
Yeah, I think I want to get a Herman Miller. I want to get one of those Herman Miller ones. There's like a gaming chair that just recently came out, but
okay.
I'm planning on doing some sort of moving around, perhaps traveling. And I'd rather not have to deal, obviously not now because with COVID,
Right.
whenever things die down. I mean, my plan this summer was to travel around and see the world, and obviously those plans got nuked. But once things pipe down a bit, get back out there. And I don't like having all the furniture and things to take care of. It's just something to worry about another time.
Now, will poker be a part of those travels in the future? Like you'll see a tournament series in this spot, and so that'll give you kind of your excuse to travel to that.
Yeah, I think poker is actually we have a 2x overbet here, almost 180%. Stop the travel plan conversation. This is a big bet and a call.
10s and 8s for Polk. Negreanu had that ace of diamonds.
I would love to peep that one.
All right, let's check out that replay, guys, if we can, from table 2.
That's a bit of a dagger there for Doug to find the call, as it was just a regular single raised pot. Going check on the flop.
There is a 4-bet pot, by the way, on table 2 while you're taking a look at this one.
Daniel going a little bit larger there on the turn, and then opting to bluff with the 2x pot raise, or 2x pot and 200%. I think it's a situation where Daniel, we'll pause for a moment. I mean, this is a pretty massive 4-bet pot.
And we just saw the replay, so we're good. We can get back to that, but 22K in the middle here. Ace Jack 6 rainbow. Going to go small again.
Very similar to the Ace 10 3, I think it was not too long ago. Similar board, similar thought process going into it. This time they're pretty short. Only about 100 bigs effective this time around.
Another 6 on the turn. It goes check. Another ace on the river.
It's an interesting but kind of boring one. I think it becomes relatively face up with what value combos can show up here. And it's a little bit harder to find some here. I mean, Doug kind of just had the world there.
Yeah. Flop top 2. Ace is full of jacks. That's what he ended up with.
Not good news for Daniel. Fortunately, Daniel didn't have an ace or any sort of value hand that would want to bet the river. He would have got some bad news.
Oh.
But to quickly go back to that ace of diamonds, 2x pot river bluff. I think it was a situation where Daniel obviously blocks the nuts. He blocks, very easy calls in Doug's shoes. But I also think it's a spot where like Doug, I'm trying to remember, Doug could have some flop checkbacks with flush draws. I don't think he's always going to be betting 100% of his flush draws. And anytime he has like a 1 diamond combo 2 pair, I guess he has a sort of easier decision. Doug's also the type of person too that's not going to overfold. He's at least been very public in his like, I'm going to call what I'm supposed to call, and I'm just going to go from there. I think when you're in those situations, you want to crank out the pressure. You don't want Doug to have an easy decision there. If you bet pot, Doug's at a very easy decision. If you bet 2x pot, you have to sort of think a little bit more. Whether or not that's the time to fire it off. When he does bet 2x pot there, I don't think he's always going to be doing that with his nut flushes, because you eliminate the ability for worse flushes to raise as well, which is another thing. And you sort of narrow your value bet range to very few things. You basically say, I have the best hand, or I have a bluff. Whereas like now he doesn't have a set. He doesn't have 2 pairs, which can, if you start to over bluff, does make things easier for Doug to make the call. Fun one nonetheless.
Hoarder in the chat says, thanks, won a ticket to the Big 50. There we go. You're very welcome. Glad you spiked in that.
We've got a winner.
Barrel. Yeah, we're looking for him.
We breed winners here in this YouTube channel.
That's what we do.
If you're a loser, get out of here.
Latest tally is Negreanu down 65K. Thank you, Keith, for the kind words. He says, that pot on table 2. Negreanu leads for 2,400.
I feel like we've seen a lot of this ace 10 3, ace jack 6 type stuff.
Polk makes a call. Deuce of spades on the turn.
I think this is a spot where if Daniel's probably going to be tripling off, he's probably going to pick like an 8,000 size here. He does not triple off. one of the buzzwords, geometric. You know, you bet the same size on the turn that you bet on the river. So if you bet 67%, you're probably going to want to jam 67% on the river. But yeah, none of that ended up happening. Looks like a check on the turn. I think Doug still has some pretty strong hands here. He still has some aces, still has some decent tens.
Check on the river from DNegs. I see 3 bets on table 1. It was tens for Polk, nothing doing really for Negreanu.
And I think that's a spot when Daniel makes it to that river with the 9-8. He's probably never winning a showdown. It's probably one of the better hands to bluff because he doesn't have a spade in his hand, so he doesn't block any of the draws that Doug could have called and shut down. But I think it's also a spot too where, like, knowing Doug, he's just not folding that anyways. You're not going to get him to fold a 10. You're not going to get him to fold an ace. You're not going to fold a lot of things. So in that situation, you're probably just trying to get him to fold like a really weak pocket pair, which you block 9s and 8s, and then Broadway combos, which, yeah, I think Doug probably doesn't make it to the river that much. So I think there's pros and cons to shutting down there.
Negreanu leading for 10K here, and all spade flop, 4 parts on the turn. Negreanu takes that pot down. We will have another free roll coming up in 26 minutes from now. That free roll will also award 5 seats into the Big 50. I'll give you the password in about 15 minutes.
And you guys aren't allowed to register unless you're going to win. So keep that in mind.
Exactly. That is an excellent point.
Oh, 4
bets. 4 bets from Polk on table 2.
Ooh, quick 5-bet
all of
jam.
it. Polk lays it down.
In the eye.
Every single chip into the middle from Daniel Negreanu.
Nice, easy 5-bet jam. Always, you know, you just go all in pre-flop. They fold, you win 10,000. Not much. I mean, poker seems pretty easy. I should get into it a little bit more. You know, maybe I should play some 200, 400.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, just go all in, win 10,000.
Good luck. Yeah, just keep getting the chips in. There's a 3-bet from Negreanu on table 1. Polk calls ace king 8 rainbow. Negreanu leads.
Yeah, I think these are boards in 3-bet pots where I think Daniel can have some larger sizes when he bets. It doesn't always have to be small because he's going to have some strong hands that also still dominate Doug, because a lot of Doug's strongest hands 4-bet. You know, traditionally you're going to see him 4-bet aces and kings more often. So you can have a little bit larger of a flop size. I think especially when you're like 100 deep. But, you know, going small is going to be fine too. We got nothing though. They just folded.
I want to remind you, if you haven't checked out GG yet, you can fire off a deposit and you get to choose your bonus, either $100 in free tournament tickets or a 100% match up to $600. And in the month of December, GG giving away $6.2 million. Just giving it away. It's 40K a day to the Russian Cash Daily Leaderboard. That's 1.3 million to that leaderboard. 20K a day to the Spin and Gold, the Hold'em, and the Omaha Daily Leaderboards. We got 2 million go into all in or fold prizes. If you just log into the client, you get a Spin and Gold ticket. It's fantastic.
Oh, I don't know if I lagged there for a second, but I don't know if you heard me there.
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. I said all you have to do is just, you know, break even. You just don't suck and you're making money there. Oh.
Don't suck. 9's full.
10 high, not going to win that one.
Negreanu off.
Yeah, it does seem like Doug's not. I mean, every time we get to showdowns here, Doug just kind of has it and just has kind of easier decisions. This is
He's had some pretty big hands throughout the course of today's round.
Yeah, we've been pretty easy to forget now the one time that Daniel had aces, because it quickly got erased, and it was Daniel winning back his own money, and you know, right back at him with the top set of kings. This is last 30-minute, 40-minute stretch has not been a fun one for Daniel.
Much is true. Our latest tally at Negreanu down about 65K at this point. It's going to be a little more than that. It's got to get frustrating at some point, considering the session Monday did not go Negreanu's way.
Yeah, I think especially for whenever you get to a point in your career where you're playing at this high of a level, and Daniel's been playing for this long, you're going to be a competitive person. The competitive drive is what's going to fuel you, and losing when you're a very competitive person is just not fun. And it's I don't know very many people that are uber competitive that will ever take losing well. Hopefully it's just channel it to trying to do better. I think I just remembered too that ace 9-9 board where Doug had king 9. It was a spot where Daniel min bet the flop and Doug min raised the turn. It was kind of an unfortunate one where Doug was a little bit mad with the ace pairing, but still found a way to get some additional value in it.
Michael in the chat says these commentators trying to convince us the match is a long, long way from over. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. We're just stating the facts. There are more than 8,000 hands into this one. The overall feud is planned for 25,000 hands. My math would say that this is a long, long way from over.
Let's not forget when Daniel won the first match when they played live. Everyone was like, "Oh, Doug's in
my
for
God. Yeah.
Doug's getting wrecked." And it's just the way the things go. Is wherever momentum goes, that's where a lot of the opinions shift. And when Daniel starts winning, a lot of people that are going to be super pro Doug are just going to end up shutting up. Or they'll just keep their opinions to themselves. And when Daniel loses, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, slamming the keyboard. Oh, he's getting wrecked." It's just the way it goes.
It's so easy in poker and in watching poker and in playing poker to be results oriented. So when Negreanu's down, it's like, Polk's the GOAT, which he might be. And when Polk is down, it's like, oh my God, Negreanu can actually beat Polk. It's just, correct answer always probably lies somewhere in the middle.
And it's also a situation too where somebody's going to be a loser. Somebody's going to have to lose this challenge. Somebody's going to have to lose the session. Somebody's just going to have to
run
lose.
Better. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's immediately over when we're a third of the way through. Right. Somebody's going to build a lead. It's not going to be break even until the last hand. Doug wins a big blind. Oh, he's the winner. It's going to be some natural swings to it. A lot of monotone. A couple back-to-back monotone boards there.
A couple of you in the chat have mentioned live play. They will go back to the Poker Go studio, or at some point around the halfway mark. I do believe that is in the cards, so to speak. Another 200 hands at least at the Poker Go studio. Speaking of, on Poker Go, you can catch the return of Poker After Dark on December 13th and High Stakes Poker next week, next Wednesday, 1 week from today. How about that announcement today, Patrick? AJ Benza and Gabe Kaplan are back in the booth. They are back as your hosts of High Stakes Poker.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that a lot. That's good. I grew up, when I first started playing poker online in like 2010, I'd have 5 tables on my monitor, and that 6th slot in the middle was watching the Justin.tv High Stakes Poker.
Nice.
So it'd just be like reruns of Poker After Dark and High Stakes.
Amazing.
That's how I started. I was playing at $5.50 9-man reg speed sit and goes, printing my 10-cent ROI per game.
Just living the dream.
Yeah, that's how, it was just like a lot of you guys in the chat. That's how I started. And it's gonna be a lot of nostalgia when it comes to watching that stuff again. Do we know the first lineup that's gonna be airing? Or
we do. I'll pull that one up for you.
Yeah, because I know there's been a lot of episodes recorded. Seeing Bryn Kenny's Insta stories, he was in some of them.
Yeah, and I believe Bryn is in the first episode.
That's somebody that's just good for content, no matter what he does.
Absolutely.
So the enigma that is Bryn Kenny.
Let's see. Yeah, Bryn Kenny for the first episode of High Stakes Poker will be joined by Nick Petrangelo, Jean-Robert Balland, Rick Solomon, Michael Schwimmer. If you're a fan of the show Daily Wager on ESPN or a big professional baseball fan, you might recognize that name. Brandon Steven and Tom Dwan returns.
That sounds like a really good cast. I think anytime I've watched Rick Solomon play some of those high stake poker after darks, it's just like the ferocity of his ability just to put in these like monster bets and just like quickly call situations. I think he had like the biggest spot on TV poker history with that one guy as well, where they just played like a $1 million pot where it's like snap bet, snap call, snap bluff, snap call. I've got it. Oh, you got me. And just quickly, muck your $1 million losing hand.
He's an absolute wild man at the table. Yeah, big pot brewing on table 2.
Table 1, not necessarily that small either, $5,000.
I mean, it's kind of small.
Yeah. I mean, if we had it in big blinds.
Now it's not.
Now it's not, no. They're firing here. Looks like pot 1 probably ends before pot 2, so we're not going to be overloaded by decisions. Unless, I might have just jinxed it. Doug's going to come in with a nice 3x river raise. Oh, big bet from Daniel here on the river.
Does win on table 1. What say Doug on table 2?
Having a bit of a think here.
Makes the call with the flush, and it was trip jacks for Daniel Negreanu. Ugh.
Yikes. And I imagine that's a situation where Doug wasn't thinking about calling. He was debating raising and opted to not.
Right. It was not like an intentional slow roll or anything of the sort.
Yeah, it's a good one
to just click the call button.
Did Daniel have Jack 7 offsuit here?
I believe so.
Okay, so Daniel comes up with a Jack 7 offsuit 3-bet. I think it's a reasonable flop bet. I think you could sometimes check. I think when he bets flop, though, I think it's really good to check turn because Doug's going to have better jacks, and it's also a spot where Daniel's not going to have too many jacks as well. So I think checking's going to be good. I also think it's a situation, too, where if Doug had raised here and there was room for error, Daniel could have maybe 3-bet jammed and just turned it into a bluff because he's not going to be too many of his value raises. But yeah, I mean, I would need to see the exact stacks and what raise size picked. Maybe it probably wasn't too likely, but fun one. Daniel getting a little spicy, finding the, I'm sure, low frequency 3-bet there with the
Yep.
You know, a lot of these offsuit combinations that you end up 3-betting. You can't 3-bet only aces, like I said earlier. You're gonna need to 3-bet them at some point, and a lot of people are going off of what the computer has solved for what is better for 3-bets and stuff like that. And I'm sure Jack 7's probably like somewhere like 5% or something like that. But if you roll it, you roll it.
Sometimes you roll it.
Yeah. I'm sure Bryn Canny will.
You froze from. No, never mind. You're good. You're good. I think I froze too. Everybody freezes.
I saw myself freeze there.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch myself freeze. I was, it looks like it.
Oh, you're gonna watch it back? Yeah, we are on a very slight delay, so we can watch the YouTube. Jose Santana, I can't wait for high stakes poker. Yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome. Gonna be fun. Promo video released today. I mean, Phil Ivey will be in the mix. Phil Hellmuth. We'll see some classic Hellmuth rants. Those will be beautiful.
He better.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's just disappointing if Phil Hellmuth doesn't lose a pot and start ranting.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
You'll get it for high stakes poker.
Hopefully Patrick Antonius is in the mix too. I feel like anytime he's just sitting there very stoically and just plays.
He is not. Now he might have been invited. It's a little bit tougher for them having to shoot during COVID.
Yeah.
So a lot of the players who wanted to travel in just could not make it.
Yeah, I think he's out in like Monaco or something too. I didn't realize I was playing against him on Stars, and typically when I see someone from Monaco, I just think rich recreational, and then I didn't it didn't clue in until a little bit later. Some people are like
first part is right.
Yeah. I think the average housing price in Monaco is something in the millions, and you need to have a yacht and 10 million euros in your bank account or something absurd to live in Monaco. That fits Patrick Antonius' profile.
Absolutely. Alex in the chat, Doug has hit a ton of luck. Let's be real, sure, but he's also played really, really well, and he is an absolutely fantastic player. So let's be real there too.
Yeah, it's
Let's
always
also be real when we go the other way. You know, it's not like, oh, Negreanu sucks.
Mhm.
You know, let's be real and acknowledge that he has not run particularly well throughout this feud.
It's always dangerous when a very good player also runs good. It's never a good combination to be up against.
Negreanu 3-betting. Polk making the call. Ace 7 3 2 hearts.
Seems to be the trend. A lot of these 3-bet pots end up just being ace high flops.
That's true. Sizable percentage, I would say, today. Second diamond pops up on the turn.
Looks like we have potentially Daniel's accountant in chat. Laughing
Oh,
at
good.
somebody,
What does he have to say?
laughing at somebody saying he's only worth 15 to 20 mil. I happen to know he's worth 50 mil.
Oh,
Wow. Maybe not the best move if you're his accountant, but it is what it is. We appreciate the information. We'll take it. We probably shouldn't have it.
I think the guy arguing with the accountant says Daniel has won 41 million. That is his revenue. You forget he has all of his losses not counted into that. What you might forget, Matt, is that he probably has other sources of income. Just a guess. He's probably made money not in poker tournaments. Polk makes the call. Kings and sevens for
Bang,
Negreanu.
bang. Quickly takes pot down on table 2 as well for a sizable amount.
There we go.
Couple showdowns. There we go.
All right.
Bang,
Perhaps we shift and move things in Negreanu's direction. Bram in the chat. Too bad we in the Netherlands can't play on GGPoker. Jeff, is that going to change in the near future? You know what, Bram? I will give the Netherlands and GG the green light right now, just like I will with the United States and GG right now. So I think that's all they needed. The door is open. Let's just have GG everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bram. Unfortunately, I don't know, and also don't have nearly that kind of power. But I get your concern. I struggle with that as well, being US and not being able to play GG.
Yeah, we're gonna get that question a lot. When are they gonna come to Sweden? When are they gonna come to France? Obviously, when do they come to the United States? They come and they come. You can rest assured that they're trying to reach every market they can. There is a global pandemic going on, so priorities unfortunately are not going for online poker. People are prioritizing other things like making sure their economy and people survive, their population survives, and poker just doesn't rank there at the top of things that they need to address first. Hopefully when things get better, maybe we see some regulation go GGPoker's way, and we get some more countries in the global pool there.
Future is still bright, just might take a while. I'm not sure if this person knows more than our commenters in the YouTube chat, but Amanda Negreanu weighs in and says no one is staking Daniel. People keep thinking that. Nope.
No,
So,
yeah.
I don't know if I'd go with her or Daniel's accountant who has popped up in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, these are two conflicting sources. I think we just have to take them both for similar credibility,
Right. Exactly. All right. Next password to the free roll, the GGPoker.tv free roll, giving away 5 seats to event number 1 of the World Series of Poker Circuit, the Big 50, the 1 milli guarantee. The password is opener. It opens the series, so let's go with opener. OPENER. Let's do it. Opener. Get in the mix. Yeah. Let us know if you win. Let us know if you don't win. Give us a bad beat story.
Yeah,
let us share it. We give you clearance.
Let us know if you don't win, so we can time you out from the chat for the rest of the day.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I've been firm on this. We only produce winners in this chat, all right? If you've got a lie, so be it. We're not going to fact check, but don't be telling us you lost the free roll.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, yeah.
After all that, Andrew asks, when is GGPoker coming to Romania? We'll go September 18th, 2021.
Every time you ask, we add a day.
Yeah, right.
But if you ask twice in the same minute, we add a week. It's just the way she goes. Way she goes.
Andrew, I'm sorry. We just do not have the answers. If the good folks at GG might have the answers, for some reason they haven't brought Egption and I into their conversations on expanding into other countries. I'm sure that's coming, or just the lines have been a little bit crossed. haven't been able to get in touch with us. Maybe they lost our number. I don't know. Probably should be involved in those high-level meetings.
Yeah, I'm trying to push the great game to the Vatican City. Let's not forget about all the other countries in the world. Let's we're making pushes there as well. We'll see what happens.
Andrea says, really? No, I was just kidding on the September 18th comment.
You unfortunately made us have to say or get serious on our sarcastic remark, which is, that just makes things worse. Let us have our joke.
Stack starting to become deep again on table 1. 75K for Polk, 80K for Negreanu.
Yeah, I mean, if Daniel just stacks them here, life's gravy. He's out money on the session. That's all he's got to do. Just stack them, Daniel. Just win table 1, win all the chips. It's easy.
Sounds pretty easy.
That's what I would do. We'll get a nice aces versus queens.
Yeah.
3-bet pot. No, 4-bet pot. Simple.
Negreanu down 50K for the session, puts him down about 725K for the overall high stakes feud. Corbet, who is the female dealer in DNegs versus Polk 200 hand session in the Poker Go studio. I can't remember, but Poker Go uses some of Aria's dealers. So just absolute world-class dealers. I don't remember who was actually dealing for session 1 of high stakes feud.
Yeah, I as well don't have the catalog of dealers that deal that. So no, we're running blind on this one.
You need to prepare better than Patrick for.
Yeah, there's some points where I think I'm ready for this job, and then you get in the booth and then you just get reality checked, and it's just maybe I'm not cut out for heads up commentary. Maybe I just don't got the chops.
Certain things pop up. Got to be prepared. Kazul says beer or wine. It's going to be wine for me, Kazul. Stefan in the chat says, I am Jeff's accountant. I can confirm his net worth is $289,000. This will not be the same next week because his annual Tinder membership will be taken from his account. Yeah, I was going to account for that.
I mean, it's got to come at some time. That's understandable.
That one usually stings.
Makes sense. Renews it in the holidays. It's a very personable time.
Bring my crazy dog buddy back into the mix.
We've got a face to the bark.
Yeah, exactly. There is. It's this crazy guy.
Who'd have thought? I thought it was going to be a big dog when I heard
right. He wants you to think that. He wants the big dogs to think that as well.
Big lab. I thought, I'm shocked.
God,
color me surprised.
Love labs. I've had big dogs forever, and then went to this adoption event in Vegas, and this little guy just called out to me. Rachel says, I'm Jeff Platt's next ex. I can tell you he'd be worth more after being with me. All right.
All right. That sounds intriguing. I don't know. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. No, I got nothing.
True.
Andrew, I like you guys a lot, but Hanks just makes my day when he gets drunk. He makes our day when he gets drunk as well. 21K in the pot on table 2, and Hanks will be back on Friday.
Yeah.
King 8-7 rainbow.
Getting drunk just ends up not being in my repertoire. I'm gonna have to leave it to the experts.
Yeah, leave it to the pros on Friday.
Yeah.
Amanda and Brennan and I will be here for the happy hour stream. It's Polk betting small.
I think this is a spot too where Daniel could probably have some check raises. He doesn't. I'd imagine this is a spot where Daniel's going to be able to check raise. He could just min raise and then just jam turn with, some stronger. Yeah. I don't know. Actually, maybe I'm making some stuff up there. I'm not 100%. I don't know my 4-bet pot ranges. I was thinking out loud.
Well, Negreanu has about a pot size bet behind.
Mm-hmm. I think this could be a turn where we're going to see Doug jam as well with some value stuff because there is a lot of equity to deny in terms of just gut shot straight, open-ended straight draws. And he does
all of it.
Opt to stick it all in. And Daniel with a quick fold. Yeah, Doug's going to be able to jam aces, ace king. If he has a set, pretty easy one. And I think his bluffs just end up being, ace queen, ace 10 type things that block strong value.
Polk up to 100K on table 2.
Ads do it right in chat saying, I want Patrick to read me bedtime stories. He has a great voice. LOL.
Nice.
That's
He's
a good
available.
Yeah.
Small fee.
And I was looking to branch into audio books. we'll start with Cat in the Hat.
I think it works. I think it'll work.
Just diversify multiple different revenue streams. It's important. It's important as a businessman. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Who knows where poker will be in 20 years?
That's true. Got to diversify. Aaron says, Jeff, how are you feeling about your Negreanu bets? Not great. For those of you who don't know, I have a little bit on Negreanu at plus 455. Not that I don't think he can come back, but when I see the current odds at 13-1, I'd much rather, of course, have 13-1 than 4.5-1
And I think that's only natural when you when you see your bet not going well. You're not going to be too thrilled about it.
Patrick, where are you from? Asked Anthony, and where are you located?
I've got basically two hometowns: Regina, Saskatchewan, and London, Ontario. Both different parts of my life, but at the moment we're in the Toronto area, living in Toronto.
Okay.
Big fan of the Six. Drake's done a good job fostering a great city atmosphere, and I bought in. Brought us a Raptors championship as well.
That's exactly what you brought to the city. You, not Kawhi, but that one was all you.
Yeah, I haven't brought the championships yet, but I'm bringing winning. So I got that at least. That's what let me move here.
I would love to go to a Raptors game. That environment looks
it's good,
crazy, awesome. Yeah.
Now I don't know if I said it on stream yet, but I've been to a few of the Raptors playoff games. I was at Game 7 Philly. I was at that one. I had really good seats for that one. I was there for the shot. I always like to say that it was when he hit that shot, it was so loud I couldn't see. Like it was just like absurd. Like everything was just vibrating. It was just insane. Just a lot of screaming. As we have another sit out here.
Damn, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I was at Game 6 of the Bucks as well. And then I was Game 1 and Game 5 of the finals. Game 5 of the finals obviously wasn't that good, but
you went to some insane games.
Yeah, your team's about to win the finals. You gotta show up.
How long did that shot feel like it took? And for those of you who don't know what we're referencing, Kawhi Leonard's shot to beat the Philadelphia 76ers, where it basically bounced up and down 346 times before it went into the basket.
It was like eerily quiet when that shot went on, and I was on the other side, so I saw it like go in from here, like bounce and then bounce around and jump in. I didn't think it was going in. I thought after the first bounce, it looked like it was going to bounce backwards, and it bounced. Oh my god, it was just absurd. It was a beautiful shot.
And just absolute pandemonium.
Yeah, just screaming and cheering and nonstop honking outside. People were climbing streetlights and cranes and stuff like that. It was great. It was madness.
It's so great. Andrea asked, question for Patrick: what buy-in should I play with $800 bankroll and medium poker skills? What if you tweak that question, Patrick? What if you kind of use like buy-ins more as a percentage of your bankroll? What would you recommend to somebody firing off in the GG streets?
I think when it comes to bankroll, it always comes to your risk tolerance and whether or not you're willing to reload. Like if this $800 is your last 800 as we jump back into the action, these guys having not to rub it in, but having a bigger bankroll than 800. But anyways, if you're never wanting to add on again, you could be pretty tight with your bankroll management, something like 200, 300 buy-ins in terms of tournaments, but that's always going to be pretty tough when you play the smaller stake stuff. But I mean, realistically, just play at a buy-in level that you're comfortable losing at or winning at and accept the variance of, and just play games that you enjoy. I think especially earlier on in people's poker careers, and when it's just a hobby, when you're just playing for fun, people get caught up a little bit too much in what'll exactly make them the most money and what's the best way to make the most amount of money. When deep down we're playing a game for fun. Play what you enjoy, play what play within your risk tolerance level, and that just varies between people to people. And like I said, if you're willing to reload, play some bigger games. Don't be afraid.
Just enjoy it. It is supposed to be fun. Negreanu takes down all right pot on table one. Jake says, Jeff, other than him being the biggest name in the game of poker, why did you put money on DNegs? I thought there was some real value there, and I think most importantly, I know that Daniel is honest with himself and his state of play. I think case in point, you could look back a couple years to where he's like, wow, these high rollers are just absolutely crushing me and I need a ton of work. He put in that work. He he got good. He did well in the high roller scene. And I think he was really confident with the way he was playing, the way he and his team were adapting to Doug Polk. And Doug Polk was running well early on. So I just thought at 4.5 to 1, great value there. Takes nothing away from Doug Polk. The guy's a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Doug is, I think it would be cool after this challenge, win or lose, if Doug stuck with the heads up horse. You know, we get to see him battle some of the, you know, the more popular name people, Linus Loliga. You know, seeing a competition.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you bring up Limitless, I think he's a riot. He seems game to battle whenever.
Jody McAllister had Jackson the free roll and got crushed. I saw Mr. Tanja said, Patrick, you may have to ban him from the chat because he did lose.
Yeah, Danish, you know what to do. Danish Sausage in the chat. You're going to have to handle that one for me. I don't think I have mod privileges just yet in this chat.
Jake says, Jeff, is it really possible that we see a swing in momentum in Daniel's favor? Absolutely. I mean, he won 3 straight sessions last week. It's not going to take that much to see it swing back the other way.
Salco in the chat asking, what do you think about short deck poker and Triton super high roller tournaments? I mean, the first one, what do I think about short deck poker? I think it's a great game. When it first started coming to online sites, I played a fair bit of it and I loved it. I was enjoying it. But then I kind of just drifted away because I didn't want to put too much time into it because it was sort of taking away from, you know, playing tournaments and learning tournaments. I think it has a place. I think if it gets the right push, it can grow and become pretty big in a reasonable tournament variant, at least a decent number 2. Yeah, tournament short deck is fun and it's uncharted territory to a degree. And then the super high roller Triton series. I mean, who can go wrong with just ultra nosebleed stakes where people are just the best of the best battling at the highest price point? It's just always going to be really good content, and we're gonna see the best of the best battle, and we're all gonna end up winners. That's
I do like how short deck, you know, to your point, there's a bit of the unknown there with that game. Players, there's still so many routes to go as far as creativity and originality are concerned. I don't think in its current form the tournaments come across well from a on TV or on stream standpoint. The final tables of tournaments, when you throw ICM into short deck, it's mostly just like call, all in, fold, and you just get so much of that every single hand. But hey, the game's going to evolve, the strategies are going to shift, and so I'm very curious as to what the future of short deck holds.
Yeah, and I imagine as long as Triton's a thing, short deck will still be at the forefront.
Yeah,
the businessmen that show up to those events love a good short deck tournament. I think there was one of the guys, I don't know if it was one of the guys who played the 1 mil, but there's some guys, some of the businessmen that were playing those tournaments that have never played regular Hold'em before, and they were just short deck guys. They just play short deck, and their first experience playing like regular Hold'em, for example.
4-bet from Negreanu on table 2.
I feel like we never really, maybe I'm jinxing it, but we never really see Doug 5-bet jam. It's been more of a Daniel move. I don't think we ever really see Doug 5-bet jam. It's either call or fold.
Right. I think Negreanu has had the only 5-bet jam of the day.
I don't think historically, I think I've only ever seen him 5-bet jam. So I guess Doug just isn't typically jamming in the ace kings or the queens. I imagine jacks is still a jam sometimes. Perhaps
here.
Slightly different strategies. King Jack. Yeah, it's just another situation too where Daniel just doesn't need to size up. You know, the ranges come a little elastic or become a little, narrowed. I think it's a spot too where you could probably see Daniel still sometimes check. Like if Daniel's got like aces here, he's a comfortable bet, but it's not super comfortable. And since the stack to pot ratio is still pretty small and it's pretty easy to get stacks in, if you have like ace king, it could just be a check and then just bet.
Now about 44K in the pot. Deuce of clubs on the river. Negreanu checks back 10s versus 9s. Nice pot for DNegs. Not a favorable flop for either of those two holdings.
No, yeah, I think it's like a whatever flop for both of them. Turns like, all right, I guess we keep going.
Yeah.
Pretty easy decision for both of them on the river. And Daniel on the right side of that little cooler.
Thanks for the kind words, Jake. Have either of you ever dabbled in playing short deck? I mean, I haven't actually played, just done a hint of commentary on it.
Yeah, I think when it first came out, I played a lot of cash, varying on the sites and stakes. I was pretty fortunate on a lot of my results. Got pretty. I think I ran pretty well. I think I had the right idea with a lot of things, and I do like when a new game comes out and everyone's green towards like strategy and stuff like that. I always enjoyed that aspect of things, where like when you just start, everyone comes in with a clean slate and everyone's trying to craft strategies before someone else. I enjoyed that aspect of things. You know, both. I think then it's like the true, like, who's the better competitor, who's the better strategist, can sort of solve it. But I mean, me personally, as like a poker player, I'm a product of people teaching me how to play. I tried to grow on my own, and I was pretty unsuccessful until I found the right coaches throughout my later years in like 2014 to 2017. I think in terms of tournament poker, I wasn't that naturally gifted. Otherwise, 2011, I'd just be up there with Tom Dwan,
Of course.
Yeah, there's levels to these things. I think I ended up being more of a hard worker than a naturally gifted.
Latest tally, Negreanu down about 30K, so less than a buy-in. Puts the overall feud at about $700,000. Apple Juice in the chat says, regardless, Doug owes Daniel for the millions he's making from subs, etc., after coming out of retirement from the marketing interest in this match. I do think Doug owes Daniel a little bit for a marketing boost, a promotional boost, no question about that. Millions, perhaps a bit much.
I mean, if Doug ends up winning millions, I feel like Daniel's paid.
There we go.
Paid his dues, As it looks like Daniel loses a small showdown there. I feel like we haven't had very many of those type of pots where it's just like a sub $5,000 pot where it's just like small bet, call, river. We see one of the hands win a showdown.
Mm-hmm. Bram says, Jeff, don't forget to send the email for the green light on GGPoker in the Netherlands. As of now, you guys are doing a good job keeping me entertained. Really enjoying the series. Thank you, Bram. Appreciate it. I'll get on that. We'll get on the call and green light it.
We'll put that at the top of the pile.
Yep.
Just for you.
So thank you all for being here, for checking us out on ggpoker.tv. We'll be here tomorrow and Friday as well. Same start time, 10:30 p.m. UTC, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Let's pick now. Well, there are a couple just small pots. Let us know in the chat where you are watching us from. We have a worldwide audience. We appreciate every single one of you tuning in and always enjoy seeing where you guys are checking us out from. So we got Patrick in Toronto, myself in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada.
How's the weather? I mean, I imagine like winter. I always like wintertime. It's just like it's not chilly, but it's like chilly for Vegas sort of thing.
Yeah, right. Like it's 60 degrees today, which is great, but the nights get a little cold in the 40, 45-ish range.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very weak individual when it comes to the cold.
Is it still like a t-shirt shorts weather when you go outside?
No, it's not t-shirt shorts. I said 60 degrees. That's like long sleeve and jeans.
You got to remember you're dealing
damn
with
Canadian. Yeah.
Fahrenheit,
Unbelievable.
Celsius isn't correlating enough.
Sydney, Newfoundland, Chile, England, Ireland, Morocco, Germany, Nashville, Isle of Man, Boston, San Jose, Columbus. Yeah, we are all over. We got some Torontos in there.
Saw London, Ontario as well.
And we have a 4-bet from Doug Polk. We got Racer watching from my mom's house. He got me on that one. Well played. Lima, Peru, Tel Aviv, Israel. Nice. Just outside Oslo, Norway, Ohio, Finland, Austria. 80 centimeters of snow. It sounds like a lot of snow. We don't do that metric system, but it sounds like a lot. Uganda, Oregon, Patagonia.
Ooh, Uganda. That's one you wouldn't have expected to hear, but I'm glad to hear poker's, reaching everywhere.
There's a Dallas from Simon from there originally. Lithuania, Connecticut, Regina. Nice.
Oh, Mike. Well, those London, Ontarios.
Yep, some Luxembourg, some Sweden. Austin, Texas. Harley, cool city. Alex from Jeff's courtroom. Was in the courtroom one of these sessions. Maybe we'll bring that one back. as far as backdrop is concerned. Dan, as a non-American, did Hanks's beloved Buffalo Bills win? Yes, they did. They did beat the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. Brent Hanks was very pleased and very intoxicated.
Yeah, I think I just recently looked at the standings. Since football's always played on Sundays, I never end up really getting to watch because Sundays is the poker lord's day in terms of FTTs. My Rams seem to be at the top of the division, which is nice to see. I think it seemed like at the beginning of the season, they weren't doing bad, but everyone else was just doing better, and now they're competing for the division.
I really like the Rams. I think they're well-rounded. I have a Super Bowl ticket on them at like 42-1 or so. I think now they're in the 18-1 range. Very sharp.
Yeah,
very sharp. Amanda Negreanu, Jeff, are you wearing a sweater and no pants? No comment at this time, Amanda. No comment at this time.
I can proudly admit that I am wearing pants. I will.
There we go. And
if anyone's wondering.
Thank you for proving. We couldn't just take your word for it. There are his pants.
Yeah, if you feel free, if you want to stand up to prove it, you're wearing pants.
I said no comment. I never said I was. I never said I wasn't.
I'm trying to put you on the spot now. Now it's like I'm flexing on you.
Doing. I'm gonna let you guys at home guess.
All right, I'll save you.
And ladies at home guess. Hey,
I'll save you because there's a massive riverbed on the river here. And it's all right. Back to whether or not you're wearing pants because the pot's done. No,
let's go to Jody. This is more important. Jody says, "I'm hoping the feud is on the day I go into labor. Give me something to keep my mind on. Good commentary today, guys. Thank you, Jody. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
We hope we're on as well. You go into labor." Ricky, Jeff, do you support Spurs? Jewish connection and all plus top of the league. I don't know. This is probably the Spurs, the soccer thing.
Yeah.
America, we just think Spurs and San Antonio Spurs. But sure, I'll support them. If they have a Jewish connection, I'm Jewish, but I don't know about the connection. But, just supporting the members of the tribe, sure.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the across the pond football stuff, but I do know about the Spurs. Particular Adam Owen is a well-known Yid.
That's right. That's right.
I remember at a run at Reno, I was watching him just with like serious anxiety as his team's playing, and they ended up winning the game there, and he was shakingly nervous as we're playing like this $200 8-game tournament. It was fun to watch his real-time reaction. I guess to go to there's so many leagues, like it was like Premier League,
right? Yeah,
semifinals, something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Some footy fan will correct us.
Right. That much is coming for sure. Kazul, our resident sports betting sharp in the chat. I have not made a bet on the game tomorrow, but I'm leaning Pats plus 6.5. All right, you let us know tomorrow what you settled on. About $10,500 in the middle on table 1.
So anyways, Doug just starts blasting, takes that one down.
Mm-hmm.
Similar size bet, but for a much smaller pot here out of Daniel, taking it down as well. Both players taking down some pots.
Yep, Premier League is the English League. Be the Champions League semifinal against Man City. Okay, I've heard of all these things, I guess. What's up, Joey? We got Fat Bob in the mix. What's up, Jeff? Fat Bob here. Have a good one. Thank you, Joey, or Fat Bob, whatever you prefer to go by. I prefer to call you Fat Bob.
Do you think it's a situation where Fat Bob isn't actually fat?
Unfortunately it is, and I was very depressed to see that. He came into my Twitch chat when I was streaming the GG main event featured table coverage, and I think he started complaining right away. I said, Fat Bob, let's just calm down. And then we got along, and I checked out his Twitch page. Fat Bob, this is very disappointing. He claims that he's fat, but I just don't see it. Negreanu leading for 2K on the Ace 9-9.
Hard-hitting conversations that need to be said on this, in this commentary. Yeah. We can stay topical here. A couple obese-sized pots here on table 1.
Hey, that's why he's the best in the business, folks.
Yeah. I unfortunately that word is in my repertoire. That's an easy one for me to fire out. I do like to use the word obese when talking about pot sizes. you know, as a thicker man myself, you know, I don't have to reach far for the influence.
Cycling.
Yeah.
All right, it's a couple sizable ones here. Nothing doing for Negreanu. King high for Polk will win on table 2.
Not, I'm sure Doug wasn't prepared to win, but will happily take it down with the king queen. The nut high card. This one on table 1 is a little bit more intriguing. I think it was a small bet flop, check, check, turn. Small bet on the river. Easy peasy.
Faults. Amanda Negreanu says, hey, Patrick, do you have a Christmas tree? I'm just wondering. Jeff apparently hates them because he's Jewish. That is not true, Amanda Negreanu, as we have been over multiple times. I do fully support and fully enjoy the Christmas holiday. There's just no reason for me to get a Christmas tree into my home when I live alone or with a dog. All due respect, buddy. In Las Vegas, it's just I'm not going to go out, buy a Christmas tree, lug it in, set it up, put all the things on it. I mean, it's just me. It's just
so
me.
I would say that you perhaps are thinking a little bit too big. When you think Christmas tree, you think massive tree. You can always get one of the smaller ones. I imagine there's some ones at Walmart. $20.
I still gotta go buy the tree, put it in the car, get the tree out of the car.
But it's a much simpler issue than to, you know, cut a tree down, find a way to tie it down on top of a car. We've narrowed the problem down to a much simpler solution.
It's simpler, sure, but it still feels unnecessary to me. Ray says Jeff is the Grinch. That's probably true. So don't dodge the question, Patrick. Do you have a Christmas tree?
No, I don't have a Christmas tree. But it's not because
does he hate Christmas? No. I mean, maybe you do. I shouldn't speak for you.
You know, me and Christmas, we cool, we're tight. You know, no major quorums. We've. Maybe there was some,
just fine.
Maybe there was some beef when I was like 8 and I didn't get the exact present I wanted. But you know, we squammed it. When I turned 10, I got what I wanted. I got a big gift, and you know, ever since then, me and Christmas, we're cool.
Overall, you've run pretty well. Alex, would you buy a Christmas tree to impress a Tinder date, though, Jeff? Yes, I would.
See, there we go.
Yes,
we've just crafted a great reason.
Yep.
You know, if you know things go reasonable, you know, you got a Tinder date at your place. You know, she sees a Christmas tree. She goes, "Oh, this guy's nobody sociopathic has a Christmas tree at home. Nobody has a Christmas tree."
That's a good front if I bring in a Christmas tree, I guess.
I think the list of reasons for you to not get a Christmas tree has just trimmed down to virtually zero.
A lot of Grinch comments. I kind of understand them.
Mr. Food Services, Patrick clearly don't drink. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I don't drink. It's just that I don't drink. You know, it's not that I have anything wrong against drinking. It's not in my repertoire when I'm at home. I'm not slamming a couple bevies.
And it's not like we have anything against people. I say we, like all of our alcoholics. You know, like we have anything against people who don't drink. It's just sometimes we have drinks, sometimes people don't drink. Sometimes, you know, you prefer soda instead. I mean, it's all good. You do whatever you want, drink whatever you want, eat whatever you want, be merry, be happy. But have a Christmas tree if you want, or don't have a Christmas tree. Apple juice, Jeff. If you have any legit Tinder dates coming up, they will be cute and get a tree for you. That's fine. If some Tinder date wants to luck in a Christmas tree into my place, I mean, I guess I'll take it. Sure. If as long as at the end she'll also come by and remove it from the house as well.
Great bluff in the chat. Twitch regular as well says Patrick has all the tricks to convince others that he is not a sociopath. All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to. The Breaking Bad Walter White. You got me, you know?
Right.
Oh, shucks.
Speaking of Breaking Bad, we did a charity stream last night with Walter White Jr. with one RJ Mitty from Breaking Bad.
I can only imagine that. That's a delight.
That was a lot of fun. He was great to have. We had some poker superstars in the mix as well. It was good times. Thanks to the people at Run Good, raised some money for the One Step Closer Foundation. Jody, Jeff, is it true you have a new Tinder date every day, or is that not true? No, not every day, Jody. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Just like 6 or 7 a week. Jonathan, what's the Tinder theory optimal if you're dating 2 girls and don't know who you like the most? It's a good question. I would just not. Nobody can force you into a decision, Jonathan. You just got to be upfront and honest with everybody. Take your time. 13K in the pot on table 2.
Big one. Yeah, this seems like the type of pot where it's. I think I'm getting to know the sizings a little bit better now. This looks like a 3-bet bet flop check turn. Getting a little bit at least more comfortable just eyeballing how we probably could have got here. I think check turn. Yeah, I guess both players have a decent amount of jacks. I feel like Doug probably blocks and bets like a third with a fair amount of his jacks. Oh, ace 5, pretty reasonable bet flop check turn check river out of Doug. Gonna take that one down. I imagine Daniel's gonna check back with some like ace 10, ace queen type hands. Things that probably don't need to bluff, probably just win at showdown. It's also a spot too where if Doug has any hero calls, it's very easy. If he has any sort of like pocket pairs like 7s or obviously like ace 5, pretty easy call for him there.
Latest tally, Doug Polk up about $70,000. I think that has even increased in the last 5 minutes or so.
Couple small ball poker pots at the moment.
Some good Tinder comments from you guys. I love you guys in the chat.
Yeah,
thank you all for being here. You guys keep us
on our toes.
Keep us on our toes. You keep us entertained.
Keep us honest. Keep us in line. We can't.
Yeah. That is a tough task.
I think we've been pretty on par. I think we only diverged to Pokemon cards and Tinder dates, for a fraction of the amount of poker content that's been going on here.
Right. I think, we're balanced.
I mean, the Christmas tree was a very important conversation.
It was very important. I got put on the spot by Amanda Negreanu.
Yeah.
It's almost slander, Negreanu. Matt, Tinder dates are mainly for hookups, never wife a Tinder date. Come on, Matt. You got to have an open mind.
That's not true.
2020. Everybody jumping on Tinder to try to meet people. Come on, Matt.
You never know when you'll find
right.
The one.
Rachel says, "Oh, Patrick, I could keep you in line." Hey, now.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, the little
hello.
It's not. You forgot the very important part there. The purple devil emoji. That's a very.
Yep. Thought it was
a very
implied.
Important part of that one. Yeah. Yeah, you get those emojis. You know that business.
This is great. Steph and Jeff, let's do some live Tinder swipes on the stream. I'll save that for Khaki T. I'll save that bit. That's what Khaki T does, I think, now on Twitch. So.
Yeah, it's in his rep. I mean, he is in a new country now, so it's a new player pool for him to explore and get to learn tendencies for. He's gonna be doing some population analysis. Get a deep dive in, see what works, see what doesn't.
Amanda asked Patrick, does Patrick have a woman or man? I want to know more about his life.
No, I mean, at the moment, a single young bachelor living
in Toronto.
I'm pretty self-absorbed when it comes to playing poker and getting better at poker. I mean, we've had a couple forays into dating, and it's I just like playing poker too much, which is the unfortunate thing.
It's fair.
I'm too busy climbing the ladder to become one of the best, and I just haven't found the right balance. And I just don't think it's fair. I'm dating somebody,
it's
and
not
I'm
fair
just
to the woman, right?
And when I'm playing my poker sessions, I'm not checking my phone. I'm not doing anything for like 12 hours of the day, and I think a lot of the time that just doesn't work out in some relationships. But I'm still on the younger side. Got a bit more time.
There's no rush.
Yeah.
There's no rush. There's a big check raise from Doug Polk.
A very obese size here. I think that's like 5 times. Oh, and an unfortunate fold. No, or probably fortunate.
Rachel says, Jeff, I did an adult never have I ever on my last Twitch stream. Okay. Rachel getting spicy today in the chat.
Really firing off the PG-13, perhaps 14A comments here. Great bluff. Slightly incorrect, but I'll read it. Patrick was saying the other day how much he misses Pav tuck him in. I think he is jealous of Pav's new girlfriend. Just saying. Actually, that was the other Streamhouse member, Travis, saying how much he missed tucking him in. I was just there for the conversation.
Okay.
But no, yeah, that was some banter between the other two. I lived in a stream house with three other gentlemen, and the two that we were on call with were bantering about tucking each other in and the likes.
How long were you in the stream house with those guys?
6 months. It was
Okay.
it was in New Zealand as well. And I think afterwards, coming out of that, I think we were familiar with each other. We're sort of friendly, but I think afterwards, once we had finished living together, I mean, we basically became brothers to a degree.
That's
really
cool.
good friends, and I feel like I got some friends for life out of that one.
And who was it again? Sorry, you and Pav and who?
All in Pav Hristovoya.
Yep.
Pavlovic, Dramatic Degen, Travis, and Henry Bueller.
Okay.
Z German, yes. Yeah,
yes.
Oh, big 2x turn size bet here out of Doug. Quickly takes that one down. If only Doug had quickly folded or on that one time that Daniel had 2x over bet instead of snapping.
Latest numbers come in with Negreanu down about $80,000 for the session, puts him down more than $750,000 overall. And after Polk's plus 160K session on Monday, today's session took on all the more importance. Mac Productions has asked 1,000 times, will there be another free roll? There was going to be Mac, but then you asked again, and we had to cancel it. Sorry.
Why did he ask?
I just heard that from GG in my ear. Very sorry, Mac.
We had it. We were almost there. Oh, things you hate to see. Better luck better luck tomorrow.
Tomorrow there will be free rolls. Friday there will be free rolls. Amanda Negreanu will join us on Friday for commentary.
3-bet pot here on table 2, 887. This time Daniel opting out of the continuation bet.
As we have hit the 2-hour mark in this session. Our predictions for a length of time, it's like, grab buddy here. Our predictions for length of time for this session are kind of all over the place because on the one hand, they're playing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. So you would think that today would naturally be a little shorter. On the other hand, they're taking next week completely off. They're slowing down a little bit towards the holidays. So yeah, it's tough to tell. 13K in the pot on table 2.
From my point of view, if I were to, I'll fire off my guess after, as we have a decent sized pot here. Let's focus on that. Check on the turn. Doug electing to not continue. I think this could be a fun spot here. I think Doug has some flop or turn check back flush draws. Doesn't always have to bet all of them. Daniel could still have some strong stuff. Does fire off the bigger river size here. 75%. Takes it down. Yeah, Daniel, when talking prior and listening to him prior, had said, when they have sessions back to back, he prefers the smaller ones. And then the times where he doesn't have to play the next day, going a little bit longer was his MO. There's a little bit of different factors going forward where, next week they're not going to be playing. Perhaps they go 3 or 4 hours still tonight. But if I were to guess, I would assume that we're nearing the tail end of it. It would be my guess, but we'll see.
We'll see.
The next banana break could be.
I was just going to say, we're so due for one of those breaks that'll be a pretty big tell.
I wonder if he ever mixes it up, if it's only ever fruit on the breaks or bathroom breaks, if there's ever just like maybe he gets a cookie. I don't know. It could be in his repertoire. Perhaps Amanda could, if there's any different snacks and treats that he mixes up depending on how things are going.
He seems to me like he's just so locked in on the health, fitness, nutrition aspect of it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
That a cookie might not be in the mix, but maybe a cookie is saved for the weekend, or maybe a cookie is saved for tilt. I know sometimes the wine flows in the Negreanu household after a bad session or a good session.
Well, it could also be a situation where not all cookies are the same. It could be a relatively healthier cookie.
Oh, sure. It could be one of those protein cookies or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's trying to slam in a ton of I actually have a friend that has these protein cookies, and they're 600, 500 calories per cookie, and they're reasonably sized, but it's me personally, I'm trying to lose weight, And I just hear one singular cookie, you know, however big, is just like 500 calories. It's just like, are you kidding me? Like, those are the things I would love one, but that just sounds like my worst nightmare.
Amanda says he's never snacking during breaks, always peeing.
All right, well, we'll put I guess that puts the banana break to. Like, I kind of ruined your joke.
No,
Oh,
so
no.
I know that this was from way back. This was from the OGs in this stream, I think. Kevin Martin and Kaki T, who
yes
had banana break, as Negreanu takes down a decent pot on table 2, and so they went with it. So by the time I got here, I had to keep going.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't create the circumstances, we just roll with them sometimes, and you know, they were instrumental to you know, some of the current trends. All right, so be it. Banana break will stand.
Banana break stands. It's for the people. If it's accurate,
I think at some point, Daniel, as I said earlier, is going to need to stack Doug. I need to get this 77-3 prediction right. It does look like I was right with the number, but at the moment it is going the opposite direction.
Right. You're right on it as far as the number is concerned.
Yeah, we'll find the silver lining in my incorrect prediction. Perhaps I had the seats wrong in my visualization of how I thought this was going to go.
Got time, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. There's a 3-bet from Negreanu on table 2.
Costa V in the chat asking, Patrick, do you have French Canadian roots? I do. Yes, the Tardif.
Tardif
is a French Canadian name. My father is from Quebec. He was I think he for the most part only could speak French. It's hard to imagine because my pops is very multilingual now in terms of French and English. I can never imagine him with a hard French accent that can't speak English, or he basically barely sounds, you know, French Canadian at all, but you know, he can still rifle off some French. But yeah, he's the multilingualness didn't rub off. I had 2 older brothers who had some learning disabilities, and then when I came along, it just and I was also living in Saskatchewan. There's not much use for French. Just didn't end up happening. It's unfortunate, you know. I'm not holding it against them though, just a little bit.
Did you study any other languages? You go outside the box at all to anything else?
Well, I mean, I did live in Korea. I learned.
Okay.
I lived in Korea, but I didn't learn Korean. I learned a few things. I learned how to read. I have forgotten how to read.
Wow. How long were you in Korea for?
I taught English for a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
when was this?
It was the year prior to going full time. I had graduated university.
Okay.
And naturally, on our specialization in accounting, what else are you going to do besides go and teach English in South Korea? I mean, it just made sense. I don't know why you're laughing. It just seems like
it's a perfect. Yeah, it's what everybody does.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was the best thing I could have done. I was graduating. I had no idea what I was doing. Everyone around me was like, "Yeah, I've got this internship at this firm, blah blah blah, this and that," and I'm just playing video games. I've got no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was the best way to sort of make me sort of grow up to a degree. And I just kind of was in the real world. I had a real job. I had responsibilities. I had people that, you know, I had students that looked up to me and needed me to, you know, be on my game. And yeah, I think it's, if I had decided, I think poker was starting to go well before I went to Korea, but I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am today if I didn't have that sort of like real world experience and, you know, to mature me. I think it's, I think the way things went, I'm pretty happy that I ended up doing it.
Why did you choose Korea specifically? It's just somewhere you'd always wanted to go, or what?
Kind of, not really. I mean, I'm not necessarily a Korea boo or anything like that. I never really was, but the main 3 when I was looking into were, you know, when you're looking to teach English in Asia was China, Korea, and Japan. And it was a situation where going into it, Japan seemed like the coolest one, but they had like the worst in terms of benefits. Like you had to pay for your own housing, you had to pay for a lot of things on your own, and you had to sort a lot of things out on your own. China tended to offer the most, a lot of housing and stuff like that, but there was also like a higher risk of you getting sort of like scammed and having problems with like you know, work placement. Maybe it wasn't as legitimate as school, maybe they don't pay you. And then Korea just ended up being the best of both worlds, where like It's a little less risk of being, going to a private school or going to a school and having some sort of issue, as well as, they're paying for everything. They're paying as well typically as a lot of the job listings in China. And one of the main ones I started focusing on Korea, and then ended up finding one in Changwon, which is about an hour away from 45 minutes away from Busan, the southeast side of Korea. Yeah, it's a Jungchul English Academy. That was that's my old school there, my old Hagwon. I miss it. It was good times.
Okay, I bet it's quite the experience.
Yeah, it's I did have a bit of a 2+2 blog for it during my time there when I was still trying to play poker. Yeah, my 2+2 blog catalogs the initial year in Korea, and then my first few years as a pro.
I'm guessing that blog is still up on 2+2.
It is. Yeah? It is. Yeah, it's lesser updated in 2019 and 2020. A bit of laziness, and then a bit of other reasons to stop updating there. But sure. Yeah, I mean, it's still. I'm glad I did it, because now I just, whenever I look back, 5-10 years down the line, I'm going to look through that and be like, wow, this is great. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Toby, can you guys update how much Daniel's down, please? Sure. Last update has Negreanu down $80,000. Rahul says, I have observed that whenever Daniel bets its proper number like 1740, and Doug always bets with decimals in it, like the 1353.75. Yeah, Negreanu, for the most part, when he's choosing a percentage, he's said to us that he's kind of rounding. He's like, okay, that's about 3,000 if I want to bet 33% here or whatever.
Yeah, and I think
presets.
Yeah, I imagine the preset buttons. I don't know if you're able to change too much on the old WSOP software. I don't think there is much.
You can't do too much, unfortunately. I haven't been able to find out. I think there's another program that can tell you what you have in big blinds, but yeah, I'm not sure if that's a program you can use while you're playing. I don't know.
I think when Doug was streaming, he added it so you could see in big blinds instead of just straight cash. But obviously, from a viewer's experience, we'd rather see it in the cash, because if we see, wow, Daniel takes down a 80 big blind pot, I mean, that's just not going to be as attractive as Doug losing 32K on the spot,
Dumbo says, Jeff, your girlfriend just texted me. Yeah, your imaginary girlfriend. Oh, sick.
Fucking nice zinger. One. Got him. Doug just winning that one with top boat there. Hands full on table 2, $7,000 pot. How does it feel to just get roasted that hard?
Oh man, I just got absolutely owned. Talking about how I'm single and doing the Tinder date thing, and then no girlfriend, imaginary girlfriend. Yep.
Blap blap. Shots fired.
Nailed it.
Just to be that ruthless too, to be able to type it out. One thing to think it, but just to fire it off, just no regard for human life. Just laying you to the wayside there.
Latest tally, Negreanu down 65K, puts him down about 740K overall for the feud.
Yeah, I mean, being only down 60K is better than the prior 80K. We'll take it.
Yeah, perhaps moving in the right direction.
We could dream.
We can indeed.
Small pot going towards Daniel here, table 1. Big pot are brewing here on table 2.
Paolo, hey Jeff, will Daniel be joining the stream after the session today? Yes, we will have our standard exclusive post-match interview with Daniel Negreanu whenever the stream is done.
Things getting a little interesting. It always looks weird too when you see the ones. Oh, it's Doug quickly takes one down. You see the 1 cent. Those 1 cent chips end up taking over.
John says, come on, Daniel, need a big pot to get some momentum. Yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a situation too where you can't really force it. You're kind of just at a whim. I mean, we would love to see some blood. We would love to see some $150,000 pots, preferably go towards Daniel's way. But yeah, well, you know, we'll get it when we get it. It has been a relatively, I mean, I think the last session I watched, there was a lot of all-ins and calls, a lot of insanity. This one, there's been a couple, but it hasn't been too crazy. As Daniel does pick up a decent-sized pot there, 12.5.
Okay. And the chips have not gone in before the river today, right?
No, yeah, I think you might be right.
I don't think so.
No, I think almost all. Yeah, I mean, the aces one went on the river. The Jack 3-7-9 went in on the river, and the kings versus king 3 went in on the river. So yeah, I think you're right.
Straight versus flush, yeah.
The only 3.
This is round 16, 17, 16, 17, 17. High stakes feud. They were about 7,900 hands in before today's session started. Doug Polk of about 675K. He's extended that lead. Our GGPoker WSOP 10K main event final table is set. Negreanu wins a small pot with 10s. Bruno Bation out of Brazil, who's won really everything over the last 6 months or so.
Yeah,
that's the chip lead.
I mean, that's someone I guess I have a little bit more experience with in terms of playing. I think it's sort of just like one of the W Coops in like 2018, 2019, where he just sort of like established himself, won a couple big tournaments, and is, you know, he's been one of the Brazilians that's sort of taken over in the last little bit, especially while I've been active. He's somebody that I battle against pretty regularly. I have a lot of respect for, and I think he's primed for a nice little 10K win. It'll be interesting to see how it ends up transpiring. But
yeah, he has certainly burst onto the scene within this last year and a half or so.
Yeah, I mean, I have no shame in saying that I'm a fan of him. He's played well. I have a lot of respect. There's a lot of these guys that I've been battling against, especially lately. I feel like the more you battle against regulars and the more you show up, especially the ones that show up daily and aren't necessarily the ones that only show up Sunday. You know, we are trying to take money from each other. Oh, unfortunately, Doug gets the hero call in. Daniel bluffs and is incorrect. Yeah, when you battle these same regulars day in, day out, at least for me, you sort of feel this sort of, you know, there's a level of respect that comes with, you know, always battling versus people. And you can't help at the end of the day. I mean, these are humans as well. And there's a little bit of, camaraderie, I find, at the end of the day. Hopefully they feel the same. Yeah, I mean, I spam emojis at them. They say sometimes spam them back.
4-bet from Negreanu on table 2.
Hopefully looking to chip away from that 6-figure table 2 stack.
Polk makes a call. King Jack Deuce Rainbow.
There's a funny comment, but I'm gonna wait till this hand's over because it's not a very important one. As we traditionally expect in 4-bet pots at this point, smaller size C-bet, roughly 20%.
Makes the call, 31K in the pot. Negreanu with less than that behind. It's the 9 of clubs on the turn, and it goes check, check. Another 9 pops up on the river.
I think it's a situation. I don't know if we're going to see Daniel have anything like kings or jacks. Might not be too incredibly strong here. He could still have some river bets, but
says to check back. Smart check back.
Queen Jack going to take this one down.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just scroll up the.
Yeah, give it to us.
Yeah, Polarized in chat goes, I'm born and raised in Regina, swore I'd get out of here one day, made it as far as the Moose Jaw and realized I didn't have it so bad after all. It's a little Saskatchewan, I guess, joke. Moose Jaw is
very niche.
I don't know. I mean, Regina, it's kind of like I went back a few times and there's really not a lot going on, but then when you compare it to like Moose Jaw, which is like a significantly smaller town, Regina's like population, like I think like probably like 200,000 now.
Okay.
And then Moose Jaw is just like a smaller town, probably like 30K. It's just Moose Jaw's claim to fame is Al Capone used to hang out there back in the day when he would be on the Canadian side.
Oh,
yeah. So there's underground tunnels that he used to use for his prohibition runs. It's actually really cool because they're
awesome.
They're still going through and discovering new routes and stuff like that and finding new things. It's actually a really cool. I mean, if you ever find yourself in Saskatchewan and in Moose Jaw, checking out the tunnels.
Okay.
The tunnels of Moose Jaw. That's a highly recommended thing, I would say.
I'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Negreanu in the nice pot on table 2.
Yeah, that's not a lot of natural
gets
ways
called. Yeah.
To find yourself in the Moose Jaw. But if you do, you'll be prepared. Yeah, decent sized pot here. 13,000, almost 1,337. We're off by about 94 cents. We can only be mad at Doug for this being the internet guy for not completing this number correctly here. It looks like
check.
Geo Arrow Rider, not a big fan of my Moose Jaw story. Understandable.
Yeah. Sorry, Geo.
Just like Moose Jaw, probably not the most exciting my story, but that's okay. We're on here for 2, sometimes 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
We're gonna fail at telling you guys some interesting stories.
And fail miserably at times. It happens.
Bill Greenizan got it right though. I'm cashing that Saskatchewan tourism check. Multiple revenue streams. Oh, big bet here on the river.
It's 1.5-ish.
They are deep as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an opportunity. Oh, Daniel
Negreanu calls with ace king, and that ace king is good for a 53K pot to head in the direction of Daniel Negreanu.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Bang, bang. That's a big pot. Let's go.
Negreanu up to 117K on table 1.
As we take a look at this replay here. Daniel betting smaller here on the king at 5-3 in the 3-bet pot on this, betting a third. Going check on the turn. Both players electing to check. And I think Doug at this point on the river is just trying to put a lot of pressure on things that, Daniel has here. I don't think we expect to see Daniel have like things like king, queen or pocket nines or any sort of set. He's going to have a lot of 1-pair hands, and the best way to apply pressure when he's only got hero calls is to pick very large sizes. Daniel digs deep, finds the hero call, and bins the pure bluff Jack 8. Fun one there.
Nice pot for Daniel Negreanu. Michael in the chat. Jeff, love the commentary. I'm a mid-stakes poker grinder. Would love an Instagram shout out one time. All right, we like the poker content creators. So at Mr.Gutshot. There you go. There's your one time, Michael. Thanks for being here. Jose, Jeff, any big names at the GG event final table? We mentioned Bruno Bataillon. He's the chip leader. Damian Salas, who you've seen at a World Series of Poker main event. You've probably seen him tank and tank and tank and then tank a little bit more. He's at the final table as well, probably the most recognizable name to the mainstream poker audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to quickly. What year was it that he final tabled?
The same year, I think the Scott Blumstein year, 2017.
2017. Yeah.
Is that the Piccoli final table also? I think so.
Yeah. Is it Piccoli or Piccoli? As we have Daniel starting to sit out here. Yeah, that was the Scott Blumstein, Dan Ott heads up.
Yes.
Ben Polak in third there. Yeah, I don't remember Damien that well from that one, but I think that's just a me problem.
Yeah, you probably fell asleep while the action was on him every time.
I remember there was the one final table that had the Israeli player that tanked every hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would have thought.
There have been some brutal years as far as tanking is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Michael Ruan there, almost back-to-back final tabled it, but the controversial hand versus him and Piccoli, I don't think he was that big of a fan of. that led to him getting 10th.
Aces for Negreanu, so it's either going to be a banana break or
perma break.
Yeah, or a break until tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Jeff Platt, along with GG Squad member Patrick Tardif. It's Egption. All right, so Negreanu down about 45K. I mean, it seems like, Patrick, that he's been scratching, clawing, fighting his way back into the mix.
Yeah, it's I mean, he did just win that big pot with Ace King. Those are always going to be pretty valuable whenever you make big hero calls versus big river sizes, and you're right. Yeah, I mean, he lost a couple big all-ins. He had, one fortunate one, but in terms of big all-ins, he's losing 2-1 in that department. Does look like he's making a bit of a comeback, whether or not he decides to book the session here. I did say that he was going to win 77.3.
Yes,
so he has a little bit of an obligation to me to keep powering through, because you can't make me look silly. You can't make me be wrong. Can't allow that to happen, but we'll see.
I mean, he's got a chance if they do decide to continue playing. And great news for you, for me, for everybody in the chat, as Mazzara says, if Daniel wins the whole challenge, I will pay $100 to everybody in the chat. So that, I mean, that's just going to be awesome. So thank you, Mazzara, for committing to that. Or
the mods are going to reach out to you. We're going to get your contact details. We're going to get this in writing. We don't want you to
be in touch.
We don't want you to back out of this, as we are back into the action.
All right, so they are going to keep going. Okay, so Patrick, you run the show. I'm going to take a real quick break, and then we can swap out. Carlin, my man, feel free to jump in if you want, but I'll be back in a minute or two.
He did say he would, so now we have called his bluff here.
I think we might see him. I'll be right back.
I'm looking to hear a nice sultry Carlencho voice here. Otherwise, I guess we'll just take over. Maybe he's blushing a bit. He's getting ready. He's priming the hair, or he's ready to say, waste by the sidewise. We called his bluff, and he's just not ready to go. Daniel taking that pot down. I mean, I'm running the ship by myself. I've never done this before, so chat, go easy. It seems a lot of you guys are talking about the $100 owed if Daniel does end up winning. Yeah, like I said, Danish sausage. If any of the mods in chat want to keep him honest, that would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated.
Man, I can't let you be here alone. Hold on.
Our man? Oh no.
There we go.
There he is. What up?
Hold on. I messed up again.
The man behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rare opportunity. Things we love to see.
Man, give me a minute. There we go. Perfect.
We need to get some DNegs emojis to celebrate this monumental moment.
Hold on. I have a perfect one for this. I rarely use this one, but I think this is the moment.
Is this the original one? Yes. I hated that they got rid of this one. This broke my heart.
Was it actually in the client?
Yeah, it was for like a week period, and I was just like, this is incredible.
Okay.
Just always spamming that, but then they got rid of it and they added the little question mark one. And I was like, it's whatever, I'll do it.
This one was too raw.
Yeah, it was a good one nonetheless. No, yeah. Welcome to the booth here.
Thanks, man. Legendary moments, bro. I had like 3 commentary partners in the past 2 streams. So last stream, Henry went on a break, so I commentated a little bit with Jeff. Yep. Then Jeff went on a break, so I commentated a bit with Henry. And now I get to commentate with you. So 3 commentary partners.
Getting the gambit here.
Oh, yeah. So how are you enjoying the stream today?
It's been good. I mean, it hasn't been good for our hero, but I think it's been some good comments, some good some good chat ratios in terms of, questions and comments. Some things have been funny. Obviously there's going to be a lot of bad ones, but, is what it is. And the poker's been at least entertaining. Had that going for us. Of course, our hero down. I mean, I imagine it's been like 81, 8,200 hands total. Probably about 150 hands played today if I were to throw a random guess out here. Daniel down about 45,000. I think total down about 720. But I think he's still got a hope. I mean, they're getting kind of deep table 2. If he just stacks them there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Do you think they're going to go full 4 hours tonight?
No, I would even though they're taking time off next week, I imagine it'd be the Thursday, Friday that would probably get more hours in. I feel like, you probably don't want to push it the first few days, but I'm not the guys in the booth. I'm not the ones playing. I know Doug has been very open to the fact that like he's going to sit until Daniel doesn't sit. I mean, Doug himself is just used to these Iron Man matches where you just sit there for 8 to 12 hours, uncontested, no question. Daniel, a little, I mean, maybe he's used to the live aspect of things, but those are more like, 8-handed, 6-handed, 7-handed type stuff where it doesn't revolve around you sort of thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I've never actually seen Doug like take a banana break. Like round 17, it's always like Daniel. So I guess Doug doesn't piss when he grinds.
I see, like he comes from the age of people that used to pee bottle, but I don't think he himself is a pee bottler.
Yeah. Try to ask him on Twitter. Maybe he replies.
Yeah. I think once I'm really desperate for some. I haven't quite piqued my interest to need to do that, but eventually, I think for the fans got to know whether or not he's got a nice little bottle underneath, whether it's Gatorade, empty one or not.
It has to be something.
It could be one. I mean, there's definitely some like official ones on Amazon. it's a product, whether we like to admit it or not. Yeah.
As we see some wild action going on here. Is that a
4-bet pot and a 3-bet pot?
That's a very small 4-bet though on Daniel's.
Yeah, I think Daniel typically picks the 10K size, so the slightly smaller size, a little different. It's something different, and Doug just finds the fold there.
All right. As we see also, Mr. Platt back in the house. I'm a bounce out. Jeff, it was nice to take your place for a while.
Hey, Carlin, man, I love when you're in the mix. I mean, you sit there as long as you want. It's an open invitation, my good man. So thanks for filling in for me. I appreciate it.
Sure,
yeah, you've been the one behind the scenes carrying us. It's always a pleasure getting to hang out a little bit more.
That's right. For those of y'all unfamiliar with how we operate, we do have Carlin acting as producer and director. We have James as executive producer overseeing the whole operation. Eric running the replayer, or replay producer, or segment producer. That's a perfect name. And we got our mods, our statisticians, and Jeff and Alex and Patrick, and we appreciate the work they do. And then Patrick and I just get to come on here and just talk, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we do the least. Like we're
right.
We just have to be faces. Make sure we bring attention if there's some cool pots, and that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple for us. They do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. A. Harris says, how is Daniel down this session with 130 and 48 on the tables for him? So remember, if they get down to below 40K, they do top off back to 40K before the next hand starts. So that's where the difference will lie when Negreanu's been down at under 40K plenty and has had to rebuy to get back up there.
It is a situation where Daniel's getting paid with his own money. Daniel was down a decent chunk more. As we look at the new numbers, Daniel's only down 25,000.
Okay.
A small win could be in the books here. I'm sure that's a motivating factor to keep pushing here. I think, Carlin was asking whether or not this will go the full 4 hours or any longer stretch today. And I think it is too. I mean, we're on like session 17 now. I imagine Daniel's getting more comfortable. The fact that they're not going to play tomorrow or play next week. As Trips is going to take down the small pot there. Maybe they do end up going the typical 4 hours.
On Monday, they played 824 hands. It was their second longest session. Patrick, I believe you were a part of the third longest session last Wednesday, 788 hands for that one.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. I appreciate that knowledge.
You got it.
It's an interesting tidbit.
Session 10 was 852 hands. That still goes down as the longest session of the challenge.
Yeah, and I think people were talking about before and people brought to the point, I think it seems like whenever it's shorter sessions, things tend to go Daniel's way or be a little bit more likely to go Daniel's way. But whenever it's the very long sessions, it seems to traditionally sway towards Doug.
Yeah. George in the chat says, when does losing a buy-in become significant? You guys say only a buy-in. Only a buy-in. Seems to me these add up to a significant amount given time. That's a fair point, George. That is a fair point. If we keep saying it, but Negreanu keeps losing one or two, they're certainly going to add up. They add up at this point.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing heads up no limit, it's going to be the small losses that just slowly add up. But when we say it's just a buy-in, I mean it's we're saying it doesn't take much to swing it the whole way. When Daniel's down, 4 or 5 buy-ins in a session, then it's like, all right, there's a little bit more that needs to be done than just getting a quick cooler or winning a couple 4-bet pots to shift things. Yeah, but it does look like there are pushing. We are in hour 3 so far of this heads up. We're 2.5 hours in hour 3. Well, we'll be worried about a potential sit out once the half-hour mark hits. That's usually that tends to be around when things start to wrap up.
What we've seen in the past, usually ends either after 2 hours or after 3 hours or after 4 hours.
And I think it's pretty good for them in terms of, not wanting this challenge to go until March to get in these 800 hand sessions.
I agree because this had the potential at the beginning when they said, hey, we're going to play 25,000 hands to really, really drag. And it probably would if they were only playing in that range that they played at the first couple weeks where it was just 350 to 400 hands a session. Clearly, to your point, Negreanu has become more and more comfortable settling in for longer and longer sessions.
It'll be interesting to see afterwards if Daniel decides to hold the heads up lobbies. Maybe he decides to, comes out a winner and he's just like, I'm gonna, winning a mill off Doug isn't enough. I'm gonna win a mill off the economy too.
So let's go.
I was gonna say, so they get their rake back with this challenge. How does that get divvied? Do they just split it 50-50?
I don't know. I would assume it's something fairly simple like that, but I don't know the specifics of it.
Yeah,
Mark asked how many hands total are they at now, so they're probably at about 8,500-ish if we came into today at 7,900.
Yeah, I threw out a bad number. I said they played about 150 hands, but I'm realizing
that'll be way short, right? Because even in their sessions that were just 2 hours, let's see, they were playing about 375-ish to 400. So with the 2.5 hours in, maybe it's like 450 to 500.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I know you guys can trash me for the straw, but I'm still going to use the straw. Thank you. Sorry, quick aside.
Yeah, I mean, we've hit this topic. It's better for your teeth, better if you have a metal one. You pick your battles.
I do apologize to the turtles. I do.
Yeah, there's actually, we got a 3-bet pot brewing, but there's a particular, it was a trip to Australia from the stream house. It was me, Pav, and Henry. And there was a particular night we had, had a few bevies and we were getting some late night McDonald's, and Pav is very, he's very open about, not a big fan of straws.
Okay.
And he decided to go on a rant in the McDonald's to the employee and the manager that they shouldn't have straws and how bad they are for turtles, and just really given all the PowerPoint points of why this isn't a good thing. And naturally, when you're in a McDonald's employee, I can reciprocate the feelings there.
Right.
You're gonna get some nonsense. Probably not what you're typically want to hear at 11, 12, 1 a.m. Somebody coming in giving the straw spiel. Yeah, they don't have much say in it. It's
right. Even if it was a fantastic plan and great idea, they wouldn't. It's not like these poor employees at 2 a.m. at Mickey D's could be able to implement it.
I was doing my best. We were doing our best to pull him away. He just wasn't. He wouldn't give up. He just was so adamant to just make sure that everyone knew that how problematic straws were.
And our guys in the chat are saying they get the rake back returned evenly.
Okay. Yeah, because I would say when we are calculating the totals, it's a minor amount, but it adds up. If we play 25,000 hands, it's a 12,500 swing for either's win rate, sort of.
Negreanu had flopped a pair of 4s, does river the flush.
Bang, bang.
$500 pot. This one a bit of a battle today. Again, Doug Polk got out to a hot start. Sophia says, happy Hanukkah. Jeff, happy Hanukkah to you. Sophia, to you, Patrick, to everybody watching at home, whether you're Jewish or not, whether you celebrate it or not, happy Hanukkah to you all.
Does Hanukkah start with a C?
Some spellings of it, you go CH. Mm-hmm. You can also spell it HANUKKH or CH. I think there are 3 different official spellings.
Interesting. I mean, that's a new one for me. I've seen just purely the HAN spelling. We're learning.
Ben has said happy Hanukkah to me 4 times, which I do appreciate, but just once is enough, Ben. Thank you though.
Yeah, really, he just wanted to make sure that you saw, and he's gone. He's gone now. But he did want to make sure, he did get his point across. He did make sure you saw it.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, we don't want to encourage that kind of behavior in the chat, but unfortunately this time it was effective.
Yeah, I guess it did kind of work. But I did see the first one though, so you don't need to go out. HK Stat, I run a small company in Norway which makes metal straws. Hit me up and I'll send you one free of charge. Jeff can engrave your name on it as well. Sick.
Wow.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, HK, hit me up on Twitter at Jeff Platt. I will pay for the straw, HK, but thank you for firing off that message.
Proves to be a celebrity is, the perks, getting free metal straws. Oh my goodness. From Scandinavia as well, Northern Europe. Phil Hellmuth previously talked about. Big fan of the Northern Europe area.
That much is certainly true, with an iconic clip as it relates to
a classic
people from Northern Europe.
Yeah. A little bit more well known for their ability to battle and get creative post-flop.
I got nothing. I've run out of words to say. There's a 3-bet pot on the right now. Poke folds.
Yeah, I mean, in times like these, chat, this is where you guys need to carry us. You need to.
Yeah, you carry us, please.
At certain points, we run out of content. You become our source of content.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Hanukkah wishes, which I appreciate. Thank you.
L'chaim.
L'chaim indeed. L'chaim with my Monster Energy drink. No free ads though, but it's very nice.
Yeah, they ain't paying us. They ain't paying us squat, so they ain't getting enough.
Right. But if they want to, we'd be open to any kind of a deal.
Yeah, door's open.
The door is open. I think HK is picking up some additional straw business in the chat, so good for him.
Got a couple small pots brewing here. Doug betting the turn here on the Queen 8-5-4.
Sorry to interrupt, but Phil G with a pretty good one. This is how Jeff's Tinder dates go when it was just all silence. That's pretty well played.
Okay, this is another zinger. Another no regard for human life.
Good one. That was a good one. That one legitimately was good.
So what last one was like energy. No, I was just gonna say the Tinder date. Big bet here on the river.
Well, the over bet.
Oh, straight flush.
Oh,
straight flush table 2
for an 8K pot.
Must be nice. I can only imagine he has 6-7 of clubs there behind his hand on the table 1. It's the only hand that makes sense to bet this big. He's trying to make him fold, ace high flushes, just repping the straight flush. Doug has Daniel in the tank here. Daniel, traditionally a quicker actor, but anytime you face these 150% river sizes, it does warrant a little bit more thought, bit more money at stake, a little bit more to think about. As we see an overbet here on table 2 as well. It looks like overbet's the theme these last few hands. Does find the fold, but table 2, find the call. It's a sort of brick. Some ace-4 combos. Maybe I'm not exactly sure, but maybe somehow a rogue 6-4 gets there.
Almost Daniel, 15K in the pot.
I feel like this is an opportunity for Dana to probably still go another. If he overbet turn, still overbet river. It does check. Jack 9, going to take that one down.
Probably a good check back there.
Yeah, I think it's close. I think, when Doug is in that situation and Daniel does barrel again, it could be a spot where like the 9 of spades could be perceived as a card that's going to be something that Daniel could barrel off as a bluff a lot with. So it might not end up being the best hero, but Doug doesn't like folding top pair. So yeah, I think anytime you check and Doug has top pair, you probably made the right play.
Latest tally has Negreanu down about $30,000 for the session, so about $700,000 for the feud. Shri in the chat, me, drinks from plastic straw. Jeff, drinks from plastic straw. Me, get bad looks from people. Jeff gets an engraved straw from Norway.
Life's just not fair.
Shri, hit up HK. He'll get you one as well.
Yeah, he didn't offer a promise of giving everyone if Daniel wins a metal straw, but like the guy that offered $100 to everyone.
Where'd that guy go? The hundo.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Our mod team does great work. They've definitely gotten a hold of him.
I think so too.
I'm pretty sure YouTube comments are contract binding as well. More reason to like the video. Make sure you follow the channel. Check the chat log history. Get every bit of information you can. You never know. You might get that $100.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Deuce high or 3 high. The nut
low.
Hand.
Oh, I guess he played the board, but still.
I mean, the only way you can't play the board, though, you get that nut low. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Bye, Jody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Take care. Thanks for hanging.
Kyle, yes, I was being results oriented in the moment, and Patrick explained the theory. Why is it only a good play when he shows up with top pairs? And the theory is supposed to not be results oriented play. When I said good check back, I meant I specifically was referring to Polk out of Jack. He was going to call, and then Patrick dove into the theory, the process of it all.
Mm-hmm. Whether or not my theory is too valid, it needs to be said. But I think
But that's why results oriented route is great, because I can say that I was right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. I mean, results oriented, you just don't make Doug fold top pair. It's just the way she goes.
Corey Steele says, I'm just here for the hundo.
Yeah, I mean, looking out for yourself, I dig it. I understand. We'd appreciate if you were here for us as well.
Corey, you're also here for that spreadsheet, but I guess, to your point, no all-ins before the river, huh? We have not seen that yet, so...
He hasn't had to work too hard.
Not that much work for you. Three bet from Negreanu. Polk calls.
Pot brewing here with a about 40% flop bet from Daniel. I would say it'd be nice if both their names didn't start with a D, because I feel like the amount of times that I'm about to say Doug and I meant Daniel, it's just not fun.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never messed that up. Weird.
You think they'd think about us when they thought about making this challenge?
Almost 15K in the pot on table 1.
Like, I'm not going to mix up Doug and Linus. Those are pretty polar.
Well, maybe that'll
opposites.
be next.
We'll need to work on that. Yeah. Perhaps Doug takes a shot at Phil's title in that high stakes heads up duel.
Ooh, that would be cool.
That would be. Big turn bet here.
Negreanu calls. Polk with about a pot size bet behind. 10 of clubs on the river.
It's an interesting river. It could induce some fireworks here. And it produces a snap check. No, boring. But it will go Doug's way.
Good for Doug for a 35K pot. And good question. Have they capped the amount that any one of them can lose in the feud? Or is it just the number of hands? It just goes by number of hands. So the plan is to play 25,000 overall hands. When they're at the halfway point, when they're done with 12,500 hands, the losing player can then opt out. So they're strictly going by number of hands.
I mean, there is some restrictions in terms of deposit limits onto the site. I think it's something like 2 million per month or something like that.
And Negreanu told us in his post-game interview on Monday, he's like, the only thing I'm worried about at this point is I don't want to go back to Caesar's Palace with $1 million or something like that.
I can only imagine. Like, do you bring a check? Do you bring cash? Like, how does that work?
I want to say he brought cash last time.
That's just so street too, because then it's like, I mean,
it's badass.
Yeah, it's just like you go to the bank, you're gonna have to talk to the bank. Hey, I need $1 million. I mean, I imagine Vegas banks probably just naturally have more cash than
true.
If they need cash, they just ask the casino, hey, can you bring us some cash?
Right. And it might, it's probably some combo of like a cash, casino chips, what he already had at the casino, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ennis says, Jeff, seriously, you want a ceramic mug with plastic cover and straw? We can print your name on it. I mean, guys, I appreciate all the offers. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, it just needed me to bring up the plastic straw again, and it's just look at all the free offers.
Lachown, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Let me know how to. He says, I'm just here for the banana breaks, the Tinder zingers, and more stories about Daniel's wedding from Jeff. Apparently you got invited. I did. Just because you brought it up, I was actually invited to the Negreanu's wedding and did attend and did sit next to Phil Hellmuth. Yes. And it was just a fantastic affair. And it is 8s for Daniel Negreanu. All right.
Catches him speeding there.
All right.
Like. Big hero call. And is right. Things that make you feel good is when you hero call and are right. It's up there, though.
Lyman Cuervo says, Jeff, after Carlin comes on, do you feel weak in the facial hair game? I feel weak in the facial hair game, in the vocal game, in the poker knowledge game. I feel pretty weak overall.
Yeah, we're lucky that Carlin decided to do the behind the scenes work and isn't competing with us for this job, because we'd be screwed. We're glad that he's picked the behind the scenes aspect instead of commentary. Otherwise, we'd be out of jobs.
Amit says, I'm here for the Boban stories. Boban, and that is Carlin running those emotes. Amit says, I'm here for the Boban stories. Boban Marjanovic, NBA coming soon. Amit, I do actually have some Boban stories. Maybe come back Friday. Friday will be a better day for those. But I have a couple of Boban stories.
Is that the guy that I think he was on Dallas or something like that?
Yes. He's on the Mavs. He was in John Wick
3. Yeah.
He's been on the Clippers, the Pistons, the Spurs. Just a great human being and
just
a massive human being.
Just a unit.
Absolute tank.
Yeah, I think there's like a clip or a GIF of like he gets pulled in, and then one of the guys that looks at him, he just looks helpless when he's popping in. And it's just like I have to defend this guy when at the free throw line here. What's going on? Oh, big bet here for Daniel on table 1. Interesting board. A lot of flush draws here, bricked. Ooh, Doug coming in with the river raise.
A massive one at that to 31K. Negreanu folds.
Quick fold nonetheless. Wow. Daniel taking down that 3-bet pot. Wowie.
Nika says, Jeff's greatest accomplishment, attending Daniel's wedding. Probably not false.
Like a top 5.
Yeah, it's definitely top 5. Casey, who's your guy's favorite poker player to watch play live? Minus Tony G. That's a really good one, Casey. That's Max Entertainment. And for that very reason, I think I would have to go with Hellmuth. Like if I had to follow somebody around on day one of let's just say the WSOP main event, I would pick Phil Hellmuth. What about you, Egption?
I'm thinking. I was kind of hoping to think of something before you rifled off your answer. I mean, I think naturally, I always enjoyed a good Tom Dwan. I mean, now with high stakes poker returning, his run on high stakes poker really, some of the decisions and some of the madness was just like out of this world for me back in the day. And you're just like, how does he always do this with 7 high? And how is he always right?
And you'll see a bunch of massive pots over this season of high stakes poker, right? And I'm not spoiling anything or speaking out of turn when I say that Tom Dwan and Jean Robert and Lin G, played an absurdly massive pot, getting all the chips in pre-flop, and it's max entertainment value. It's the clip that you'll see at the end of this 3-minute promo video that Poker Go has put out, and it's a wild one.
Yeah, I think Tom just always seems to bring the action. I mean, he's been behind the curtain for a bit, and it's nice that he's came out of the shadows with I guess he started to come out of the shadows with the Triton series, and now he's been coming back to most of the TV games and such. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Tom Dwan probably.
And I think along those lines, as far as guys who are back, Phil Ivey is back. Like he is back. He is back. He is back. He says he feels free and he's just ready. He's ready for cash games. He's ready for tournaments. So we're going to see a lot more Phil Ivey over the course of the next year or two, and that's just great for poker. Sebastian says, "How about Will Kassouf?" Definitely not Will Kassouf, Sebastian. Not for me.
I played with him. My first ever WSOP event was
your first ever one was with Kassouf at your table.
First table. First hand.
What am I doing here? What is going on?
Well, it was a bit of a spectacle. It was the little one for one drop in 2017. Okay. So it's like the year after his run or whatever, right? And it's just like people from other tables were trying to get zingers at him, and like he made a couple good jokes. He's like, "Oh, you've been sitting on that one for like 6 months, huh? You've been waiting to stick it to me, huh?"
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't get too many crazy opportunities to get too wild. He ended up getting stacked pretty early.
And he is, I think he does come across when you're sitting and playing with him, is a pretty nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy the banter. I don't mind it. So I'm pretty heavy with live banter, so I can handle it. It's definitely going to be a situation where people that are uncomfortable or more at ease, it's just not fun for them. I think, you picking your battles when he's doing that sort of stuff is always good. Mm-hmm. But it was fun too, because I mean, with some of the names that you said earlier, when he got knocked out, naturally, who replaces him? None other than Phil Hellmuth. So I had one hell of a first.
Wow!
Yeah, I had one hell of a first ever WSOP experience.
You played with Hellmuth at your very first World Series of Poker event.
Yeah, it opened Will Kassouf on my table. Eventually, it's Sorrel Mizzi on my left. Phil Hellmuth replaces Will Kassouf. It was it was everything I could have hoped for in my first event. I cashed it, made deep day 2. Everything was great. It was a good story overall.
Did Phil give you any, Phil Hellmuth moments?
I almost got it. I got it in where some ace king versus queens and didn't win the flip, and I was
river that ace or king one time.
I was praying for the internet kid rant. It broke my heart. That's what I was living for. I did get to meet. I did play a couple sit and goes with him at the PSPC in 2019, cool. And he didn't remember me. Understandable, but he's a big guy. He's played a big popular guy. He's played with a lot of people. We have a 2x overbet.
Yeah, I went 2x there. Polk folds.
Fortunately, our hero doesn't get snapped off. No, yeah. Did get to ask him if he remembered. Obviously, he didn't. It was like 2 years later, different venue, different scenarios. Hey, he's a popular
he was
guy.
Honest and wasn't like, "Oh yeah, I remember you, buddy."
Yeah, I mean, for him, it's just it's probably all just a blur. For me, it's been my first couple years in the scene.
Kyle in the chat, I know Ivy is about as lively as a dead person at the table, but he's honestly one of my favorites to watch. The way he just stares at people and soul reads them is unbelievable. Best poker face ever. I agree. And the personality's starting to come out, Kyle, as well. So you'll hear some funny quips from Ivy. I think you'll be entertained. Alex, Jeff, weren't you also the player who got 60th in the World Series of Poker main in 2015? Yeah, I did. I don't like talking about that, Alex, but I did get 60th in the WSOP main in 2015. Again, not something I like to bring up, but since you mentioned it, I feel like
absolutely. Confirm. With Phil Ivey and like those guys like him and like Antonius, I think what we got to check raise here on table 2. I'll get back to that.
Okay.
Looks like Daniel putting in the work here, putting Doug to the test. I mean, these guys are about $60,000 deep to start this hand. But turn is a queen, 4-card straight.
Interesting run out.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a situation where I don't know if either of them really have too much ace king. I think maybe Doug has some ace king, but it might be just like a king versus king scenario. What could transpire.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel betting big here on the river.
The raise from Doug Polk. The snap call. Okay, king versus. Wow.
Getting bailed out.
Oh, as Polk had turned the stone cold Nutter Brothers.
Yeah, I kind of like the saucy check raise there with the king deuce. You block some 2 pairs. You block, king queen, and you also have some emergency outs. If you had a deuce, you feel like you might have the best hand. If you had a queen, you obviously make a straight. If you had a king, it's not the end of the world. You have a decent 2 pair. Getting bailed out. Things you like to see. But I was gonna say with people like Phil Ivey and Patrick Antonius, since there's like a lot of mystique with them, you don't often get to hear of them or see them. They're not. I mean, I think they have some social medias, but it's kind of one of those situations where you got to tell it's being ran by other people. Anytime we do get to see them, it's just exciting because they're just very quiet. They're very stoic, but they're just so entertaining. So it's nice to hear that people like Phil Ivey are making a comeback.
So with you, be great to see him get into the high stakes poker mix. AJ says, I've watched every live stream of Doug and Daniel. You guys at GG are by far the best. Keep up the great content. Thank you, AJ. Thanks for being here.
Well, that's the plan. We got a great team. We've had a great rotation of commentators. We're just bringing it. Bing, blang, blow.
We'll have Jonathan Little on tomorrow for session 18. And then Friday, it's, of course, the happy hour stream with the man in Negreanu, Brent Hanks, and myself. Yeah, that's correct, Josh. DNegs did not play this new season of high stakes poker. He's busy preparing for this challenge. And, of course, we had all the COVID stuff going on, et cetera, et cetera.
I think, didn't Doug jump in?
Doug did jump in for a session of high stakes poker. So he came in for his interview with me. Don't mean to brag. I was just feature producer, kind of off to the side. I wasn't on camera. And so he came in for his interview, and then he and Maury started talking, and I think he was kind of like, okay, let's go.
All right.
His interview for high stakes feud, and then ended up playing high stakes poker.
I think for Doug too, it's not like Doug's not human. He was watching that stuff too when he was coming up. It's not like Doug was always the nosebleed crusher. I mean, a lot of those episodes, Doug was playing in the small stakes and the micros. So, I mean, a lot of this has some personal feels to him as well.
And that's exactly what he said, and really a lot of those guys say. This was the most iconic show on poker television when I was, climbing that ladder in the poker world. And it meant so much to them just to be there, just to be on the set, just to see that logo, to be a part of the show. Like the guys like Jason Kuhn, Nick Petrangelo, like you could tell it really meant a lot to them. How about Ford's Full of Queens for Daniel Negreanu for a 22K pot?
Bang, bang. Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot of the new guard, the Jason Kuhn, like you said, Nick Petrangelo, these the new top of the hill, king of the hills, seeing them battle, getting to, I hope to one day be able to say, hey, I was on high stakes poker. I was on Poker After Dark.
Yeah. There's a 4-bet from Negreanu on table 2.
Might need to win a main event to probably start to be able to afford that sort of stuff. We'll see. You never know.
You put some action up online. You come in for a Poker After Dark 5K sit and go.
I mean, that one's a little bit more manageable. I mean,
all of it. There's a shove. Oh, no. Aces versus Ace King of Clubs. Flops the flush draw.
Don't
Will
tease.
you river the flush?
Oh, no.
Not. It is a King of Hearts on the river as they get all the chips in the biggest pot of the day to Doug Polk, a 168K pot.
Things you don't like to see. Oh,
and this might do it.
The ... might be the nail in the coffin here. As we take a peek here, these are going to happen. They haven't happened that much this session, but sometimes you get really good pre-flop hands and you decide I have the best hand, and you run it. And
and there goes Polk. So they are done. Like always, we'll be joined by Daniel Negreanu for our exclusive post-match interview.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, this will be the first time it's on a bit of a somber note. You know, I've been there for the highs. I guess unfortunately the streak is, we won't go 3 in a row for successful sessions on my watch.
Well, that's a pretty brutal way to end this one, as they do get all the chips in. Polk with the 5-bet shove with aces. Negreanu with the ace king of clubs flopped the flush draw and could not get there. God, I was kind of feeling it too, Egption, to be honest with you. I really thought that it was going to come in. And that, a hand like that goes Negreanu's way. That is the chance to turn the tide for the whole feud.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to get his all-in EV back. You know, anytime you get it in versus aces, you're not drawing very thin. So would have been a good shot to get some EV back. Probably would have seen some more battling afterwards, but you know, it seems to be the way things have been going. You know, the unfortunate coolers, and you just hate to see it.
Yeah. Our tally at the end of this has Negreanu down about 100K, and he lost what, 84K in that pot. So it really, after 3 hours of grinding, basically all comes down to that.
I think he might have lost 60. Were they 80 deep?
Oh, okay. I might be wrong. I just saw 168K go to Polk, but I know WSOP.com does it weird.
Yeah,
the
whatever
numbers and stuff. So I might be a little bit off on that.
I
But
think
overall, the
like
point
110, 120. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. I see our guy Jonathan Little in the chat. Will be joined by Jonathan Little tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. UTC, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time for round 18. Again, round 17 does not go Negreanu's way, loses about $100,000, puts him down overall for the high stakes feud about $800,000 or so. We are admitting him into our chat right now, always timely after a session. It is our exclusive post-match interview that you can catch every single session after the round is over. Bringing Daniel into the picture right now, and there he is. So Daniel, I mean, that sucked, man. That sucked at the end. I feel like, you know, that flip, not flip, but you know what I mean. If that goes the other way, that has the real chance to turn the tide, to give you all the momentum to use, you know, whatever cliche you want to use.
What the fuck's going on? I mean,
that works too.
Do I fucking have to start every motherfucking cock-sucking session flopping a fucking or turning a motherfucking straight with a fucking club when he fucking makes a flush? What the fuck, dude? I have trips, he has a fucking flush. I flop a straight, I turn a straight, he makes a fucking flush. I have, holy fuck, dude. And then I finally pick up ace king suited and think maybe one motherfucking time this guy cannot hold with aces, right, in a cooler spot. And of course, they tease you the hardest possible with a couple clubs and give you the king just in case he would have queens or jacks. Every other 4-bet pot, I had 10s, the board king, jack, king, jack. I was lucky enough to win one with 10s against 9s. But of course, the other 10s against queen, jack. It is fucking epic. Like, heads up poker is bananas. Like, wait till you see this fucking rant video that I'm going to put together for tomorrow. Holy fucking shit. I mean, why am I not losing more? That's the only fucking question. I should feel like I should be losing $20 million by now in this motherfucking cock-sucking game. Now I have to go get money and fucking put more money in because I don't have enough to play. Son of a bitch. This is a joke.
As Jonathan Little says in the chat, that sucked. Can you not be set up one time? I mean, it's got to get to just an absolutely absurd level of frustration, which is clearly there now. But like, can this shit turn around? Basically, I'm sure is what you're always got to be questioning when it just happens again and again and again.
Well, yeah, you figure like, all right, well, I went through the worst possible fucking run I could, so that's not possible to happen again. But the poker gods and cards don't know that, right? And any motherfucker in the chat who starts saying, go, you should have folded the ace king suited. If I see you, well, I can't say it because if I see you, I'll just say thank you for your feedback. That's what I'll do. What the fuck, man? This is just fucking dirty, right?
Yeah. And it did sort of feel like a situation too, where, I mean, earlier you had the top set, he ends up hearing you down, you get it, you get the cooler, and then it immediately gets paid back with, he has top set versus your river 2 pair.
Oh, that motherfucking cock's fucking dick hand, where I have fucking top pair kings with a motherfucking flush draw against his 3 fucking bullshit kings. And then I fucking check it back like a fucking pro, looking to play a river. Here we go. And then I make the fucking kings and threes to just get anally fucked pretty hard right there. What the fuck, dude?
It also seemed like a situation too where it's like I don't think Doug's gonna have like king jack, king 10. His value jamming range felt kind of thin. It didn't seem like there was very many things he was gonna make it there with. It was especially when you've got a king too. It seemed pretty absurd, and that one was pretty unlucky.
You think?
Yeah.
He's a fucking joke. So I don't know. He's you know what this motherfucker texts me? No offense, but this fucking guy texts me. Oh yeah, because I said a few beats. He's like, what did he say? He said that King Deuce was pretty reasonable for you. Sorry, I fucking split one motherfucking hand where you had the nuts. Pardon me for having the audacity to fucking tie you on the river and win half the fucking pot. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck, man? Everything was going okay after the grind back. It's like every fucking session I get stuck, like making a straight and then fucking he has a flush or some stupid shit. And then I'm grinding my way back. It's been like 6 sessions in a row. So clearly fucking annoyed. What I'm most annoyed about, like not even the poker. Like if I had another million in my account already, I would be like, whatever. But now I have to go down to the fucking thing and do a wire and all this kind of shit and fucking put more money in. Have I cursed enough yet or do I need some more?
I mean,
I think you've cursed an appropriate amount. You know, sometimes you just got to get it out. It's not good to just always sit there bottled up if you're gonna. Yeah, I understand.
And I only lost 2.5 buy-ins in this session somehow.
Yeah.
You've got to be pleased, right, with the way you've been able to, keep your head in the game, I guess, because the session did start with another flush versus straight, and so I imagine, when it starts like that, it'd be easy to fall into the trap of, here we go again, whatever.
Well, it's fucking here we go again, because every motherfucking session is the same. It starts like that. So it's not like, it doesn't go here we go again. I'm like, oh, obvious, fucking standard. I'm going to put a fucking cooler in. And the fucking worst part about the straight hand when I had 7-9 is I also had a club, right?
Yeah.
For extra insult injury. What the fuck, man? Give me a break.
Just to make it even more of a call, there's no silver. Yeah.
Not like I was folding anyway. I was straight.
No.
Yeah. That's the thing, too. I played really good in this session, I felt like. But what are you going to do, man? I mean, I say that every time, right? People are like, oh, you say you just keep losing, fucking change it up. Maybe start throwing some curveballs. The fuck, man?
Yeah, it's just that simple. Yeah, just gotta mix it up. You gotta bluff more. You gotta value bet more. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm gonna do it at the end. I'm gonna look at all the big pots and we'll count the fucking motherfucking setup hands. And we'll see how many motherfucking setup hands went his way. This is what you fucking people don't get about poker, right? You take two people, right? They play poker. Fucking, if one guy has 8 setups, the other guy has 2 setups. The guy who has 8 fucking setups is gonna win every fucking time, and it's been like that for a couple weeks. So, man, definitely disappointed to lose this session, but fuck, I mean, the only thing I'm annoyed about is having to deposit. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be like, I would have kept playing. Just let's go. I felt good. The only reason I folded that hand, but the only reason I quit after the ace king suited is because I don't think I had the full reload, and we got to play 100 big blinds deep. So
yeah.
So do you think we'll be back tomorrow? I don't know how long that whole process has been taking you when you have to put in so much money to WSOP.com.
Well, I hope so, but that would I'm gonna have to figure that out right now because I have to. It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You'd like to think there'd be a little bit of VIP service for this, You are putting an absurd amount of money,
Yeah, you still got to go do it, because the wire system doesn't work that well. Because the wire would take a couple days, right? The wire would take a couple days, and then if I put cash in there, then that would work for but I don't know. That's a big hassle to go freaking get a couple $100,000 in cash.
Yeah, it's a problem you don't want to solve when you'd rather be focused on studying and improving and figuring out what went wrong.
Yeah.
So let's let you go and figure it all out.
I know what fucking went wrong, Patrick. I fucking know what went wrong, and the video tonight is going to be special.
I cannot wait for the video tonight. I want to send you off. You get the money situation sorted. You figure out what to do tomorrow, and then you put together an all-time
fucking hand history. 2 fucking clubs came on the flop, right? That's what happened. 2 fucking clubs, and then it came on the river.
Yeah, we were about to go nuts. I mean, again, and that just turns the tide completely in this session.
I didn't even see it. It was all a blur. I saw aces. I was like, fuck, oh well. I mean, I haven't put a fucking all-in beat on this guy once. Not once. There's not one fucking hand. Not one hand in this whole fucking all-in thing where I've had the worst hand and made the best hand. Not one fucking hand after 9,000 hands. I've had jacks against 10s, lose. I've had fucking, whatever, queens against 8s, stick it up your ass. It's like, holy fuck, dude. Poker can be super annoying, and you're getting me fresh right out the exit. So you get maximum tilt, and I give 0 fucks about how many fucks I said, and I got texts from people saying, your mother, I think it was Kurt Morrison who just texted me, said, Mama wouldn't be happy with your mouth. I'm going to tell him, haha, fuck that.
An appropriate response.
Holy fucking tilt, huh? Jesus, the fuck's going on here?
Well, that's what we always appreciate. You know, you're genuine, you're honest in the moment, you're tilted. You can be mad. You can be mad. It's got to be the most cringeworthy.
Yeah.
You know.
I will certainly not read any fucking comments because all these fucking armchair idiots who fucking stand there and go, bah, 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 bah. I'd like to see which one of those motherfucking coolers they don't lose all their fucking money on.
Sure.
Which fucking one of those today? Holy fuck.
And to our YouTube chat's credit, nobody has said you should have folded the ace king. So hey, at least.
Well, not yet.
You know.
Don't worry.
Right.
Maybe. Don't you think maybe, you know, like, because people like, even Madison. Madison's going to look and go, you know, I don't know, man. You shove there, you know, ace king, like, suited. I mean, what is he going to have there, bro?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't beat nothing. So just put in fucking 27 big blinds and fold for another 100 because, you know, Mike would be the only one in the world who would go, yeah, I wouldn't have called ace king suited because you have a read that he had it. Yeah.
Madison and Helmuth, they're your team, they're your squad. So we'll go let you get coached up by them. You'll figure out the money situation, and hopefully we'll see you back here tomorrow. All right?
Yeah. See, guys, we'll let you know. I'll put it out on Twitter what's going on with tomorrow. I mean, listen, I have 3 buy-ins left in there, so we could theoretically play, but then we run the issue of, you know, not if I get stacked on the fucking first hand because I have a fucking flop straight or some shit, and he makes a fucking cock sucking dick fuck flush. Right?
Yeah.
Then I would have to go into things right away. So yeah, that's my Tourette's coming out because I actually do have Tourette's, but it's a different kind. I don't have the cursing kind, but I use that as an excuse for why the cursing comes out. That
was pretty good. Well, hey, at least we created a memorable post-match interview for the fans.
Yeah. Okay.
And that'll go down.
I'm gonna play. I want to play fucking 100,000 hands now because I really do. Now I want to make the match fucking 100,000 hands because I want to see how much longer that can fucking happen. Where like if I'll ever get even on all NEV or any shit like that, I will play fucking 100,000 hands and we'll kick up the stakes, the whole fucking deal. I'll go get a whole bunch of millions, throw it in there, fucking play. Yeah, just 8 tables all at once.
Whatever it takes.
Doesn't sound terrible to us. Let's
Massive
extend this
fire
thing.
in the hole. All right, fuck. I got to figure what I'm doing now.
All right, figured out. Thanks for the time, as always. We'll see you soon. All right, there he goes. That is Daniel Negreanu. I mean, was he tilted? It was kind of hard to tell, Patrick. I don't know.
I think it's a very justifiable, like, I've definitely been in that situation, not for, you know, this sum of money, but, you know, I've been in the situation where it's just like, you take it after hand after hand after hand. And, you know, sometimes you just got to verbalize your rage. You just got to, you know, fortunately for me, some of the times I've done it, I haven't had to been, you know, interviewed in front of thousands of people. It's, I think it's very justifiable. And I think it's a situation too, where it's probably just him getting a bit off his chest. He's going to feel a little bit better. You know, just immediately getting that aggression out. You know, he's a seasoned vet, and I look forward to seeing how, hopefully, we're able to get it back going tomorrow and seeing how.
Right. I mean, that's what we're hoping. So if they play tomorrow, I'll be here with Jonathan Little. Hopefully 10:30 p.m. UTC, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. Great as always to have you in the mix.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You got it. All right, folks. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much for being here on High Stakes Feud. Good night.